Bro, welcome to the Satori podcast.
At last.
At last, Mr.
Yes.
Alan Morrison.
Mr. Taylor, how are you?
My neighbor. Bro, my neighbor.
We're neighbours.
That's crazy.
Super cool.
It's so
It's
crazy.
very cool. Can't believe we've been here for so long.
So I want to open up with a quick prayer to set the space for us. So, to thee, O Lord, we give thanks for the opportunity to be here and share thy word with thy children through thy equipment, the microphones and the cameras and the platforms. We're eternally grateful to be here and to be able to be an instrument and a vessel that your words can come through so that there can be greater peace upon this planet. And we pray that many of the great sages and avatars are with us on this journey of sharing our highest truth. And may we also have the most fun possible in the journey so that all beings can be uplifted by our radiance of love and laughter and light. Amen.
Amen. This sounds cool in here, huh?
Yeah, bro.
It's like a spaceship.
It is like a spaceship. So I want to dive straight into the deep end, bro.
Okay.
I don't know much about your past, and so this is one of the questions that I was super keen to ask. Satori is a Japanese word that means to awaken, enlightenment, to know, understanding through knowingness. And I'm most curious to know, when did you first experience Satori? In other words, the realization of God. And I know that there's been probably many realizations, but I want to go back to one of the earlier ones that you would say was most prominent as a true wow. God.
Well, it was probably back in primary 4. Primary 4, I would be around 8.
Wow.
But I didn't realise this until much, much later. I knew there was something going on, so you know that there's something not quite right about the world. And I actually remember one time in the playground someone said to me, which was really funny at the time, my dad said that washing up liquid gives you cancer. And that was my first experience of investigation. You know, that's when I was like...
What was the first word? Washed up could get you cancer?
Washing up
Washing
liquid.
up.
You know, like washing up soap that you would do dishes with.
Okay.
I just overheard it in the playground. I was like, and it triggered something in me that started my investigation into the realization of, hold on, we're being poisoned, you know?
Whoa.
So that was
at 8?
That was, yeah, roughly. I don't know when. It was in the playground.
Wow.
But then I was sitting in a classroom once with a good friend of mine, Stevie. And we were the guys in the back of the class, always the ones making, fart noises. And,
Jokesters.
Yeah, just jokes, carrying on, and throwing our voice and just having fun. But yeah, I remember it was the geography teacher and she was explaining the clouds. And, I remember just saying, she's talking shit, she's talking shit. And both of us were like, yeah, I think she definitely is talking shit. And then we had a conversation about this planet being a school. And then there was a realization between both of us where we're like, yeah, this is where you come to learn. And then after this, you go somewhere else. You go to a different place. But that was very clear back then.
Wow.
Very clear.
I just got chills.
But, I think it was more clear then and then life happens, right? So then life just throws things at you. You experience many things and you believe that more than you believe the existence of everything and nothing, right? So, yeah, I remember forgetting it all often, many times.
Wow.
But that was the first time.
Beautiful.
And I think the biggest main experience after that was when I did ayahuasca for the first time, which was in 2000. 16 or 17
Whoa.
when I started just realizing, wow, hallelujah, I've got someone to talk to after all. There is someone
Wow.
that can tell me the truth after all, you know. So, yeah.
Tell me about that journey.
We're going to go straight there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was when I was really, really looking for something. You know, at that stage, I was just at the end of my tether where I didn't have clarity, and, you know, relationships were still not working, and, you know, I had a daughter by this time, and it was a Santo Daime event in Panama. And Santo Daime, I don't know if you're familiar, it's Brazilian. They play instruments. It's very music orientated, and you sing hymns, and Brazilian hymns. So this was my first time. I never knew what ayahuasca was. I was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to do this.
No way.
And I think the week before I was supposed to do it, and then it got cancelled. So I was like, oh, that's fine. And then this week came, and it was in the middle of a place called Oasis. So it was beautiful because it was called Oasis, and there was a natural spring pool. So there was this beautiful place and these beautiful people that had sort of arrived into this place in the middle of the highway. And it was a vivero, so they sold plants there. And the guy came from Brazil, and he owned it through his family's land. So, yeah, so we just started taking the medicine, and I was kind of like, this'll be fine, you know. Fine. And, you know, I wasn't very familiar with anything like that. I think I had done mushrooms back when I was a teenager, and we had a fun laugh, you know, fun, and
Yeah.
but never really understood the potential of where that would go, you know. So I'll jump, but basically I took 2 or 3 cups and then decided that I want to go for a pee. And I'm going to just go outside this circle, which I was not aware was protected at the time.
Whoa.
Energetically protected, of course. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to here. And as I started walking outside the circle, everyone seemed to be watching me, you know. And I was like, oh, what's going on? So then I turned back to look in at these people, and they all had, like, evil, like, shit going on in their eyes. And I was like,
Whoa.
oh, okay. Oh, and I started to feel like, And then I looked down, and I had bare feet, and on the ground was 1,000 knives all pointing upwards towards me. And I was like, this is not real. It's not real. But I was walking barefoot across these up-pointed knives.
That is scary.
And I just walked past it, went into the jungle, didn't manage to do a pee. I just was kind of like, the trees were kind of like scary.
Wow.
So I was kind of like, I'm just going to go back in there. And by the time I got back in, I just said, I'll just lie in one of the hammocks. There was all these hammocks around outside. And I was lying in one of them, and one of the guys was kind of looking at me, and he knew I wasn't good. And I wasn't aware that
Was
I wasn't.
this a shaman?
It was just one of the guys that was very familiar. They did it every week, these guys. These guys were doing it from a place of transmutation. We are purifying Mother Earth, and we're using ourselves as a vessel, our heart. I didn't know that till much later. But these guys were like religiously doing it, you know, like, wow, it's beautiful. So I'm lying here, he comes over, and by that time I started to feel like, you know, I still felt there's a lot of darkness going on here. What is this? And then everything went dark, I remember. So all these hammocks were around this like hexagonal structure that he had built for this. And everything went sort of dark, and all the colour came out of all of these beautifully coloured hammocks. So this guy just came over, and he had a bracelet on, like one of these like shamanic bracelets that are all made of tiny little beautiful beads of colour. So as he touched me, the colour came back. and it just washed through all of the hammocks again, like a rainbow. And I was like, oh, wow. And I'm getting goosebumps now, but it was like...
I just got it too.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful to realise that he saw that I was going down a hole, you know, and came over and got me and sat me in a chair. And, you know, at that point I started realising that everyone was there for me, even though they weren't.
Wow.
But they were. So it was kind of like... And there was one guy sitting at the head that seemed to be the energy or space holder. He was like really... And then the music just ramped up, and it's very, you know, the guy's playing the drum and boom, and it's singing hymns, and I'm like just looking around going, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And then Rodrigo just gave me the more medicine. He's like, have another one. I'm like, okay. And I ended up, at that point, I was like, I started to lose reality. Like things started to really go off. And I don't remember much after that, but I remember he gave me another glass. So I had 5 cups, which was 2 more than everyone else, I think. And I remember just lying back, looking up at this hexagon, which became translucent, so I could see through it. I could see the stars, and then it became the universe, and everyone had finished, you know, everyone had left. But before that, I'd actually had all these experiences through all the beings that were there. Through someone became my aunt, someone was, you know, and all of these, this acting was happening. You know, all these people were playing parts in my movie, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. But by the time everyone sort of left, I stayed on the ground looking up at this and just understanding the universe from a perspective of, I can speak every language. I'm a mathematician, I'm a geologist, I'm a philosopher, and just understanding the universe from all of these different frequencies or mathematics or vibration or sound and all of this, you know, and I was just like, I felt I was moving things around. I was for an hour, something like that. Someone told me after I was there, just, and it was, wow, it was so incredible. I just felt like I didn't want to go. I just didn't want to leave. And then, you know, I've had, you know, then after that, I think I went probably once a month after that. I get pretty in the hole of, well, I can't relate to anything. I just want to go back in there again. And then eventually got to the point where it was, oh, you believe ayahuasca to the point that you believe it's true, but it can play tricks on you, for example. You know, there's other energies around and you get involved and you're very vulnerable also.
Yeah.
And then I just had this desire or urge to do a diet, a really deep cleanse, and I did that, and then I became very weak. Still doing the ayahuasca every month. Probably did it about 20 sometimes, and my marriage, that caused my marriage to have severe challenges. It was already challenged, but this just then accentuated everything. And I don't know where I was going to go.
Was your awareness the reason why the marriage became more difficult? Because now you're having a higher awareness and you're even more further away from this being that you're with?
That's a long story, that one. But
you could just say yes or no, too.
I would say it gave me clarity, for sure. It gave me clarity. Well, at that time I had clarity.
Yeah.
But I knew nothing. You know, all of the times that you do ayahuasca, you know, you go through the ego of, I'm God. I remember I'm God. And then every time you do ayahuasca, you're like, because you don't want to do it. You're going, oh, why am I doing this? And then, because I'm God. Because I want to see God. Because I want to remember.
Wow.
Because we forget. So it's just like a constant reminder of why you're here. but it doesn't give you the clarity on why you're here. It gives you what you need to do in that moment each time you do it. You know, you can make your intention, you can make your, this is what I would want, this is what I want to happen, but you'll get exactly what you need, not what you want. And I've seen magical things happen through the groups that we did it with. And then I went to Colombia, took my nanny, gave it to her also. It was amazing because she's looking after my daughter. So,
Dude, you got your nanny on ayahuasca?
yeah.
That's incredible.
I had some in the fridge one day.
Oh, bro.
And she was like, she kept asking, what is that? I was like, just take it.
Yeah.
So I gave her some, and she went to lie in her room, and she said it was the most incredible experience. She's very religious, you know.
Wow.
Panamanian maid.
I love that.
And then we decided that we would just take it with us on a trip to Colombia with the shaman that used to come here.
Yeah.
And then that's when he gave me another medicine called Paramajuju, which...
Never heard of that.
Yeah, neither had I. But that makes you... It paralyzes you for 6 hours.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And I don't know how he did it, but you're not supposed to take it unless you've done ayahuasca for a year. So I had done it for, I don't know, a year and a half. So basically everyone was taking ayahuasca, and I was like, oh, I'm taking ayahuasca. But he gave me something different. And then it was so funny. We had a good relationship with the shaman, but he was sort of saying, come back, because I could feel my chest starting to get warm. I was like, there's something weird going on here. And then eventually I just had to lay down, and it felt like, wow, it felt like when you moved your finger, it was like a tidal wave of energy that went up your body. So you couldn't move. It was like pins and needles at the highest level.
Wow.
And basically what this medicine does, it put it into another way to see it. It could be like it disconnects every nerve in your body. So it's like a Windows reset, you know. So, you know, you switch your computer off and switch it back on, it gets upgraded or gets faster again. So every nerve gets disconnected and reconnected again. And you cannot drink water. If you drink water, your heart will explode. This was what they told you. So you don't touch water, because the energy that this medicine must generate in your body is so powerful. I mean, wow, I just lay there and I still had to be sick. And then I remember the shaman walked past and he was like, just laughing. And I'm like, I'll fucking kill you when I get out of here, you know? But it's like, I couldn't move. And then it would just be sick, and then he would just come and wipe it. And I was just looking at him like, so it was just a very surprising moment for that experience. But then when I went back, I remember driving the car in Panama, and all of this information was coming through the windscreen. I was just like driving, still processing and integrating so much stuff. I was like, what is going on? And then I think a week or 2 or 3 days later, I experienced what it felt like to be a woman having her monthly cycle.
Wow.
So I ended up, it must have been flooded my system with female hormones, estrogen. So I was like crying to these songs, super grumpy with my wife at the time, just not wanting, just no patience, short temper. And he had warned her. He said, yeah, he's going to go into a state like that and completely. So, and I was talking to Joshua the other day, and he said the same thing. He had that experience also.
Yeah.
Through the feminine, because we have the same sort of frequency,
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'd never met anyone that had that experience before, and I had never thought that it was even possible. But that was kind of, after that, I didn't do much more ayahuasca experiences. I did maybe 2 or 3 more after that. I don't really remember much. Since you moved to Vinau, it's hard to remember yesterday.
Yeah, it is hard to remember.
Yeah, and I'm 52 now, so I was thinking, am I losing my memory? Is this,
Yeah,
normal?
I heard you say that a few times.
Yeah, but it's like, so I don't know if I should start taking some, memory jabs or nootropics or something. I was looking at it today, and I'm like, but what do I want to remember?
Yeah.
What do I want to remember from yesterday, really?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't remember anything from yesterday.
I think many people...
It would take me at least 5 to 10 to 20 minutes to try to recall.
Yeah.
I'd have to take a lot of energy to try to remember. It's never relevant or needed.
No. And we used to.
Yes.
We used to remember the names and what time it was at and
All that stuff.
all that stuff.
And you had a lot of capacity to remember details and content and form. Yeah. But I feel like when you move to the nonlinear contextual realm, you're just not remembering the content of what happened. You're remembering more so the context, maybe the realizations that took place the day before. Or, wow, the sense of clarity that came through. That's what I typically will remember. Like you were saying when you came in the house, how are you, bro, or something. And I said, wow, this last night was incredible. I had this awareness come through that gave me such clarity and peace. And it's not anything else what I had for lunch or...
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
What did you feel yesterday? What was your feeling? Which chakra was activated?
Oh, bro, I don't know chakras that well. I do, but I don't.
But it really is moving away from the mind into the
the
body,
heart, the
body,
spirit.
Yeah. So when you ask me like the past, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I think many things that we think or remember from our past is a gathering of what we don't want to think about and identities that we hold on to because that's who we think we are, right? But I remember when I did a very intense diet when I was doing ayahuasca, much of my memories disappeared. Many disappeared.
Wow.
It was like my brain
Yeah.
or my vessel or my...
Erase.
Yeah.
Empty on the trash bin, on the computer.
Wow.
Empty the trash bin.
And it was just for me, that experience was a confirmation that your mind is not here. Your mind is this. Your mind is, so we're holding muscular tension or there's a specific food or a trauma that just, you know, bumped here or there. And then you get to that point that the body cleans itself. So, and it's not in your vessel anymore. It's not here. It was so amazing to have that space.
Wow.
To just regather. Expansion moving forward. It was necessary. I couldn't have helped it. And one of my buddies was doing the diet at the same time. We looked like, two of us looked like we were going to die.
I wish I could see a photo.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have photos?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, if you do, let me know. We can throw it in.
Wow. I don't think so, bro.
You can show it right between us on the camera angle. That'd be sweet.
It was, wow. And it was kind of like, I was doing it anyway. And I couldn't help myself. It was, I felt propelled by an energy that it was impossible to not do it. Yeah. And everyone was saying, my wife, my daughter, they were all like, Daddy, you look ill. But, you know, and I, when I used to see my body at the same time, he looked fucking awful also. The two of us just were like, what are we doing this for? Because we didn't eat any meat for like 2 months. And we had 3 vegetables with only olive oil, 3 types of vegetables, twice or 2 or 3 times a day. And it was just, I lost, I don't know, so much weight.
As you're telling me all of this, at the peak of my journey of just deep in medicine, I got so sick for so long. And I must have lost 15, 20 pounds. I don't have a lot on this body as it is.
Wow.
And we were in Costa Rica going to Envision, the festival. Bro, I had a fever that was like 107 going through the airport flying. I think it was 107 on the Fahrenheit scale. I don't know.
Wow, that would be fun. Huh?
I was dying. I had a migraine the whole way. I had already had this fever for a week and a half prior, and it continued into the first 3 to 4 days so it was almost a 2-week fever. And going into Costa Rica, going into that festival, you know, sometimes you have your shirt off. It's Costa Rica, dear Lord. I could feel like Claudia's looking at me concerned because I looked like Gandhi.
Wow.
I just had like ribs starting to show. My legs, there's like nothing on them. her parents are, what is wrong with Taylor? Why does he look so skinny? What's going on? What's going on? Yada, yada, yada. And I just felt how, as it was all happening, I didn't tell anybody about it, didn't tell my parents or anybody about it, but some people saw through FaceTime or whatever. I just knew that there was so much coming out of the body, and that it wasn't a matter of me not taking care of myself, which is what the projection from so many people were. You're not taking care of it. You're not. Maybe there's some truth in that, but for the vast majority of what I felt, I was clearing so much unnecessary baggage that was being held on to.
Old you,
old identity, old memories of trauma from childhood, stuff I don't even maybe remember. And by the end of that festival, I just felt like, wow, all this energy.
Yeah. And then you eat again.
And you eat again.
It's a new experience. It's a new body.
You've leveled up.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And also the fascia and all these pains and aches. You must get rid of them. We don't have to live with pain.
No.
And I've lived with pain I've had pain in my hips for such a long time.
Wow.
It's the instability of life, Peace. I think now at last, I believe I have got over the pain now. I've done yoga for years, and it just something.
Yeah, you're flexible, dude.
Something never went. It just never. The pain would always be there, twisting, and so you just get to live with it, don't you?
Yeah.
You should never have to live with pain. You just make sure you just take it out in any means necessary, because it's either trauma.
Yeah.
You're dragging time. The more that we don't hold on to these pains or have to suffer, many people don't believe that they never, they think they have to suffer forever.
Yeah.
You don't.
You start to accept it.
You just, one of my best friends is in a wheelchair, and I spoke to him the other day, and I says, wow. I says, how's the pain level? And he said, 8. And I was like, wow. How many more years do you need to feel
take that
pain? Like, what you think the body would say?
Get some stem cells,
or just the brain would stop that. Like, you don't. Why do I need to have the signal of pain constantly throughout my life? But he's obviously learning to be with and sit with that pain so that he's ready for anything. That's what he told me.
Wow.
He says, well, I'm ready for it. He's a lieutenant in the Marines also. Somebody knocked him down off his motorcycle, texting driver.
No.
He's been through wars and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, met him in Saudi Arabia. That was another beautiful. He's a beautiful soul. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, you just never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, Hawkins had 32 terminal illnesses that he overcame through surrender and letting go. It was super funny. He wrote about it in Healing and Recovery, 32 terminal illnesses in the span of 10 years. And he did go to doctors and he did get diagnosed, and he had his own journey of, you need to start doing chemo. And he said, okay, I'll call you tomorrow. And he'd go home and he'd just say, Lord, I surrender this. This is going to be my way. I'm not going to go to the operation and get the amputation that the doctor wants me to do. I'm just going to surrender. Or if you want me to go to another doctor, tell me.
Yeah.
And sometimes he did, but yeah.
Wow.
It's, I think that there's a lot of karma involved in the illnesses that we face, physically speaking, body pains. So I had a pain that was very prominent. It was really starting to get incredibly strong in the final 2 to 3 years of working in Better AMS. And it's right between the shoulder blade of the left thing. I knew it was from being at the desk for the last 5 years. I knew it. And I did start doing acupuncture and different things, but just so minimally that it never got better. It just flatlined and slowly got worse and worse. And I went through this whole awakening and came to this realization of what karma is and how everything that we're facing is a sort of sense of karma that we have the opportunity to relinquish. And I had a call with Carrie, who's the intuitive empath that both of us do calls with. She's incredible. We love Carrie.
We love Carrie.
Intuitiveempath.com. Anyways, that's her. She felt into that pain and she said, wow, I'm going to call in Jesus Christ for you, because this is a lifetime where you left a fragment of your soul because the way in which you died was so intense and the pain was so severe. And I said, wow, you can leave fragments of your soul in different lifetimes? She said, yeah. So we usually get Jesus Christ, because he loves doing this, to come and get the fragment from that lifetime and take it to the soul rehabilitation hospital, deliver it there and let it be reintegrated back into the soul. And it usually takes a few days, she said. So I was like, well, what happened in the lifetime? She said, you were a slave and they didn't treat your crew very well, in a sense that there was maybe 9 of us that were chained up. And we were always getting whipped and beaten, and it was really intense. And I was the one that was so rebellious, that couldn't fucking stand that they were whipping us so hard that it was making it harder for us to do what they want us to do. I was like, listen, like, we're gonna do it, but you don't need to fucking beat us down. Like, what is this? And so I was, and they would really hit me because I was rebelling, and that was the opposite of what they wanted us to feel, was empowered in any capacity. Well, it got to the point where I had one moment where I was so rebellious that they finally took a giant meat hook like thing and they put it through this point, my upper left back, and under the collarbone, and then chained up to the side of the thing where we were walking. And so she said, you bled out and died in like 6 hours, but your soul gained so much courage and strength in that lifetime, and at the same time there was so much agony and suffering. So that was just an incredible thing. She worked on that. The pain is almost non-existent. I pretty much don't know where it is ever. It's gone.
That's amazing.
I'll only feel it if for some reason I'm working or I'm traveling, I'm on the airplane a lot or something like that. It almost comes back just a slight amount, but it's completely gone.
It's beautiful.
That was my first experience with healing the body in which such a spiritual way was just, wow, reintegrating.
I was, you said you were hooked. It seems like some of the spiritual teachers that I've been consulting with told me that I was hung by my jaw, like this, by 2 hooks here, hung by my jaw.
Wow.
Alive. And I wasn't concerned about that. I was concerned that I couldn't help anyone anymore.
Wow.
That was what was told to me, and it felt very real. And it does feel like very real that that's what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
We've always done this. We've always been the rememberers.
Yeah.
Like always. Just, when you start to get consultations on what you did, where you were, you start to see it all unfolded moving forward. It's beautiful, right? I don't want to go into that right now, but because I want to check in again on the pain thing, because one time I did ayahuasca and I had arthritis in this hand for like 2 years. I just assumed that I had arthritis and that was it. My grandmother, who was called Nancy, had, she's here now, by the way, I can feel her.
Wow.
She died when our family wasn't very huggy and loving. They never said I love you a lot, so we weren't very emotionally connected that way. So I remember just looking through this window and I could see my grandmother, and I just saw it in her face that there was a feeling I got when I was like, I don't think I'm going to see her again. She had a heart attack the night before.
Wow.
And I was just assuming she'll be fine because she's had a heart attack. People have heart attacks and they come out. It's good.
Absolutely.
And I remember walking down the stairs and, there was this, I should have hugged her. Guilt
Wow.
that I carried unawares. And so this experience I had with a different type of ayahuasca, which is called alchemia, that she came. There was so many things. I used to wear her wedding ring. There was a girl came out in my life called Nancy, and she was just, and I'm like, there was all these signs that I had to have this conversation with my grandmother who had passed. So we did this medicine, and then she came, and it was amazing because she was right there, and you can't really explain where right there is, but she was. You knew she was there. And, you could feel her, I could smell her, I could touch her, I could, it was like a warm blanket. And she basically, long story short, said, it's okay. It's okay that we never hugged.
So beautiful.
And it was just like, I think I cried and it was all, it was all in my stomach. It was all stuck there. And I remember just letting that go. And it was just like a breath. I took more breath and wow. And she was saying how proud she was. We were building the Amazon, the brands at that time. She was like, she's still in the office with me, proud. My grandmother and I were super connected. So when she left, it was kind of a big stability that had fallen away, So basically what happened after that, my memory now, I did hug her.
Rewired.
It just rewired it. So it was just, so that happened, and then she was just like, the arthritis will be gone in a week. It was just a reminder to have this conversation. And she's like, don't wear the wedding ring anymore. You don't need it. Take it off. And I was like, cool. And then basically she left, and the arthritis sort of started going away like immediately. And within 2 days it was gone. Never to return. It's gone. It's just completely gone. So there was just these indications of pain that needed me to remember, to go back, have the conversation, rewire it, let go of the guilt. And here we are.
Wow.
Beautiful. Many stories like that with ayahuasca, but that was just, you mentioned pain. There's just, pain can be emotional, a lot, very, very strong,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go into that part.
Wow, wait, I had a beautiful thing come up. It's so incredible because what we're talking about is you have a memory. It's associated with a lower vibration emotion, guilt, shame, rage, whatever it might be. And you drop in on some medicine. The medicine presents the situation in which the story gets rewritten.
Yeah.
In a beautiful, loving way. It doesn't actually physically happen in the real world. It's a story rewrite in your spirit. Because it's not like you actually physically hugged your grandma.
But there was a you're forgiven.
Spiritual connection.
Forgiven.
That rewired it. And so what's so crazy is that really what we're trying to do here in this incarnation is see every situation and be able to identify the action that enables us to go into the pathway of least resistance, which is the pathway of God that allows us to experience the highest joy and peace through everything. And if we fuck up and we think, oh my God, this, and I have shame for this memory, whatever it is, or guilt, that needs to be healed. It needs to be rewired. Forgiven.
So that's the path. The path is to know that whatever you've done,
yeah,
whenever, because there is no time, you can be forgiven.
Yeah.
So it's just like a switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you say, it's like rewiring, but it happens in a
moment.
yeah. It's
not like something that takes a load time.
no. It's the same. You know, the growing or dying. Everything's happening for me or to for me or to me. Victim consciousness or
Yes.
creator. It's all the same thing. So unknowingly, I was holding on to a guilt from not giving my grandmother a hug before she died.
Right.
I was, really, I didn't have any
Consciousness,
awareness of it.
Some of them are unconscious.
Of course,
which is
many.
crazy.
Many. I mean,
a lot.
Sexually abused. Many people that were in sessions or ceremony with me were sexually abused and had no idea.
Had no idea until they sat.
Until they sat with the medicine, and then the medicine gives them there's 25 boxes that just open, and then you get that in your face, and then you have to go home and talk to your mother, talk to your father about it.
Yeah.
And that's the healing.
Wow.
That's necessary. You need to have the conversation.
Wow.
That's another thing about ayahuasca where, you get what you need, but there's also action to be taken sometimes, mostly. A lot of people will take ayahuasca and just sort of, hey, that's God, sweet. All good, sweet. Not going down there, I'm not coming to see you. I can see you from here. I'm just going to play my drum. Actually, wow, I'm playing the drum. Well, I'm not even moving. It's not even me. Hey! Meanwhile, you're supposed to go down there.
Some shit under the rug.
Got to go down to go back up again.
Yeah.
And many people don't. And I've seen multiple people who take ayahuasca often and not go down there.
Under the rug.
They don't go under the rug.
This is so profound, what you're talking about. That's incredible. I've never done ayahuasca, but on other medicines, whether it be mushrooms or even MDMA, you typically come across a moment in the journey where something arises, whether it be a feeling, a memory, a sensation, and you can consciously choose to avoid it. Or you can just let it come through and watch it unfold and not resist it. And I've found that that's what it feels like for me when I look under the rug. It just naturally comes up. Whoa, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm starting to cry. I'm feeling angry, whatever it is. Some like emotion of resistance that isn't the most pleasant. It's not a peaceful, loving thing. You watch it, you experience it fully, and you let it all out. And then afterwards you do the work, whatever it is necessary to really make sure you're at peace with it, whether that be calling your dad or your brother or whatever it is. Wow. It's so profound.
Yeah, and it's and everyone does these, everyone's path. I study Kabbalah, so it's an unfolding that's happening. I mean, there's many ways to look at it, right? But if you're supposed to learn and supposed to take ayahuasca, you'll take it. You're supposed to do mushrooms, you'll take it. If you're supposed to do anything, you're doing it. Otherwise, you don't need to. If you're not supposed to do it, you're not going to be doing it, right? So the point is, I don't remember the point, but where were we before?
We were talking about Kabbalah and how the movie's always unfolding and how...
Yeah, every part of the movie's defined in advance, right? So the only choice that we have is to react or respond to that, to what's unfolding from within. So the whole movie involves, I'm going to have an awakening through this experience, or ayahuasca, or mushrooms, or a combination of all of it together. And this is my journey. This is my navigating through treacherous waters and mountains, through all of a perfect movie that you forgot, that you're just remembering. And it's just beautiful. But I think that what we all used to do was we all want to find out what's the next bit of the movie before we get surprised.
Yeah.
And we're playing,
Too far thinking ahead.
we're playing hide and seek with each other, with yourself.
Yes.
And you just, you know,
You're trying to write the movie so hard that you're forgetting that you don't need to write. Because it's going to happen no matter what.
you just have to sit in the director's chair.
Yes.
And like I'm saying, like, I don't even know why we got on this subject, but whatever's supposed to happen is happening. And it is, otherwise, you know, we have regret about, oh, we shouldn't have done that thing, but
Right.
there's no point because you've done the thing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you wasting the energy
Yeah.
for? Just, how can we just be right here
Yeah.
and just enjoy
Yeah.
to the highest potential of this experience?
Yes. Something beautiful came through on that thread. The way I visualized what you were talking about was, imagine you're in a movie theater and there's a big screen and it's only you. You're sitting in the middle of the audience and you're watching the screen. There's the screen, the person in the audience that we'll call you, and then there's the projector beam. And it's super interesting because what begins to happen as you surrender to the unfoldment and allow the perfection to just unfold from potentiality to actuality by just allowing it to unfold, you start to pop out of the body and become the beam.
Yes.
And when you pop out of the body and you become the beam, you are in full trust that the movie is perfect, no matter what.
Certainty.
Certainty.
You have certainty.
And the most incredible example that comes through for me is Jesus knowing that he's going to be crucified and killed for saying what he's saying, and that he warned all of his disciples and said, this could happen, but knew it was going to happen. And then even when the time came, accepts it fully, goes on the cross, gets literally killed by all of the beings who are considered most holy, and says, forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they do.
And I'm coming back again. You can kill me, but I'll see you next life.
And that's what's so incredible is he had surrendered so fully to the movie and the perfection of it that he was happy to die on the cross, and it was perfect. And I think that that's a difficult thing for people to grasp when you're so heavily into the identity of being a person in a movie theater, because you got a human body. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes. Where are we going next?
So, really beautiful visualization. I forget his name, but he has a really good podcast, and he's done podcasts with many people, and he remembers his incarnation process. I'll try to find the link, and put it in the description below for people. But he spoke of how prior to the incarnation process, he was kind of in this room, and he was looking through the type of life that he could go through on Earth for whatever karmic reasons that you want to cleanse or heal or advance in or whatever it may be. And he said he would see there's all these different options. You get to kind of choose it and plan it out. It's your choice. But he said once you had made a sort of a choice, he said what it looked like was, imagine a little seed and then all of these millions of little strings and pathways all interconnected and going out and then closing. And he said that this was the birth to the death and the millions of possible timelines that could take place and the probabilities associated with all of the various different timelines, essentially. And when I imagine the movie, I imagine the perfect movie, it's almost like a zoop, straight across.
So
to a certain extent, you know,
So-
and it's that surrender.
guitar string,
Tell me.
3D,
Yeah.
and then you jump across 4D.
Yeah. I like that.
You jump across 5D. Multiple ways to get there, but each of them has a higher frequency.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. So
Yeah.
it's choose which. But that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't want to do that jump.
That's scary.
They don't want to do the jump across the 4D.
They don't want to do the thing called quantum leaps.
Yeah. Because it's, scary. For sure it's scary.
It is.
Move to the now and you do it every day.
It is an everyday thing here.
It's
If
an
anybody wants
everyday
to move to Playa now,
Yeah.
it's an open invitation to jumping across the guitar strings
Yeah.
and watching the movie as perfectly as possible.
1 week is like 1 year.
It is.
At least. Yeah. So I've been here now 3.5 years. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
Tell me about the book, dude. You brought a book here.
I brought a book.
I'm super curious to know.
This is like my Bible. It's called The Art of Spiritual Peacemaking. It's channeled. There's 33 lessons. Each of them has 999 words.
Oh, wow.
33 lessons. Christ consciousness. And I use it like tarot. So it's got the 33 lessons plus it's then got 365 days.
Wow, it looks beautifully written.
Yeah, it's all channeled material. And I could read one if you'd like.
I would love that.
Amazing.
Bro, I'm so stoked you brought
Or
this.
do you want to open it and see what comes up for you?
I mean, you go first. This is what came for
This
you,
is what
right?
came for me earlier.
Cool.
This is daily spiritual peacemaking lesson day 8. There will be moments on this journey when you will wonder if your progress is just an illusion. There will be times when you think that you have been talked into your enlightened mind rather than it being a real experience. It may have happened already. I would in fact be surprised if it hadn't. This is such an important point, and it is why I'm addressing it so soon in this study. You have not been talked into anything that isn't true. All I have done is point out what I see in you. There will be moments when you see it as well, and moments when you will fall back to sleep and forget. It does not matter, beloved one, for you have come too far to recede. You have turned a corner, and it's impossible for you to go back. This is your salvation, for it means that you are seeing whether or not you think you are. The awareness of this sight will come and go, yes, but it will not be lost. That is the function of this year-long study, to bring the presence of the truth you have discovered into full awareness. Do not worry about how and if it will happen. Just trust that I know what I am saying to you. Everything is in perfect order.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Wow. That was beautiful, man. Okay, let's open this up.
Have you got?
Lesson 16. Today's lesson begins a gentle shift in focus. You are here because your soul is choosing to be a spiritual peacemaker. It may seem like you made this choice with your mind, or even with your heart. In reality, it was made in both your mind and your heart, which then activated the place within your soul that is this. We will now begin to explore this movement, the manner in which your soul chooses the experience it lives, and how you will integrate these three into one perfect extension of your holiness and grace. You will also be offered ways to ground this awakening into your conscious self with an uppercase S. Moving enlightenment from a concept in your mind to a reality you can know and live. Until now, I have shared the concepts of the illumined mind, but they will not take us where we need to go. The awakened heart is the real first step as it unites with the mind. These two together present the final possibility, the full remembrance of your divinity. We will not stop until we cross that final bridge and set your feet upon solid ground. Then you will not need these lessons or anything this world can offer. Then you will know that you are home, and that all things are contained within that perfect light. You will not judge anything as right or wrong, good or bad, but will look upon it all with forgiving eyes. And your forgiveness will be whole, for there will be nothing left to block the radiant flow of the beloved's love as it washes you clean from all the broken promises you made yourself. You are that love, you are ready to embrace yourself and be as God perceives you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, I want to read you a page from my book, but I'm going to go pee first, and we're going to put on a little break music for everybody. You can meditate while I pee if you want. Isn't that a nice sound? Yeah. Satori has the rights to that sound. We had to purchase it just to play it for you.
It's a good Australian accent you got there.
Yeah, mate. Look, I can fucking put it on you. I want to go for a surf, mate. Get in the ocean, right? Look at a shark. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. So maybe I'll read this one. Okay. What credit can be taken by the one who no longer holds on to personhood? If Taylor is to give a hungry man a fish and he eats it, did Taylor solve his hunger? Or did the fish? Or did the man? Such a debate could last eons amongst dualistic thinkers rooted in personhood, as they want to assign credit to someone or something. Otherwise, their elusive foundation of causality upon which they stand will crumble. To he or she rooted in devotional non-duality, the answer is simple. Credit goes to all that is, I, as there is nothing that is separate from all that is. Therefore, the attribution of credit can go to no specific person or thing. That is a page from Memos of I.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's a lot of non-duality in parables and other ways of expressing how to see the world through oneness.
Amazing.
And it challenges different perceptions and ideas. Like that one was really challenging causality. You know, if I go and feed a man that's starving, someone could say, oh, you really saved that man. He was hungry. And I could easily look at him and be like, yeah, I know. Or I could be like, well, from an infinite perspective, if you want to look at it through that lens of infinite, really it's all just one, and credit goes to Supreme Being. So,
and did he want to be fed in the first place?
right.
The whole point was he just sitting there to just. He was another soul expressing,
Right.
being there for others to.
Yeah. Perfection.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Where are we going now?
I have a little list. Tell me about sacred geometry and what that is and what it means. I feel like you brought this to my awareness like 4 or 5 days ago, and I had no concept, zero concept as to what that was. You also said numerology, and you kind of sent me some videos on 369 and the importance of those numbers and how they relate to everything in the universe. That blew my mind, and I only went down the rabbit hole for 15 minutes, but laughed so hard because it's so comical that no matter what realm of consciousness you dive into, if you're a scientist that's a mathematician and whatever, you're brilliant, say you're an Einstein, you're as brilliant as they come, if you still have the opportunity to see God, even though what you're doing is crazy, you're measuring the, weird mathematics behind all the different shapes and seeing how they correlate and how everything comes to this one sequential 369 thing. It's just, I laughed because it blew my mind. I thought, wow, everyone has the opportunity to find God, even the mathematicians. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. So tell me more about what that is.
I don't know why I even started looking at that stuff, but basically I studied electrical engineering when I was back in school, and then did electrical work for maybe 10 years, and then telecommunications, and then, I used to work in Texas, Chicago, and Saudi Arabia, of all places. That's a whole another experience. Don't know if I want to go there, but sacred geometry.
Or numerology. I don't even know the difference.
I mean, one of the most beautiful things for me was Marco Rodin, and the understanding of the formation of the donut, the toroid, which, if you cut it in half, it's an infinity. So you've got this.
It's 3-dimensional. It's 3D.
It's 3-dimensional, but when you cut it in half, you're going to see that infinity. It just looks like a donut. Right? So just how that formation, how it's held together, and the 369, and it shows you like the 9 is at the top, and the 6 and the 3 are just oscillating, which is your magnetic field, and then this causes the mathematics of the Volkswagen symbol, which we looked at before, just to circulate in all the way that it adds up with perfection, and and how everything's held together as it spins through pi, and how pi is never a never-ending fractal formation, because pi is 3.6
whatever, it goes forever,
spiraling into making all kind of shapes and sizes. What fascinated me with that back in the day was that everything is formed from that. Everything is, I used to be in telecommunications, and the formation of a hexagonal structure was how they designed the sectors and that. And it's top secret. It's kind of like, why is this hexagonal, and why does it look like this? Well, that's how everything is based upon, the beehive.
Yeah.
Such a strong and mathematically perfect, and how they do it, so how deep do you want to go here? I mean,
considering my knowledge is zero, just whatever layer that comes through for you that feels like a good explanation of understanding it from the perspective of knowing nothing. Because my interpretation of it was originally, holy shit, you can see God through numbers by measuring the universe. And that blew my mind. Is that not how most people see it? Or do most people just see it as this crazy, we don't know what it is, but it's incredible and it all lines up perfectly? You know what I mean? I'm just
Bro,
wondering.
there's conventions you can go to. Yeah, there's like sacred geometric conventions, sacred geometry conventions all over the US, all over the world.
And so what does it mean, though?
I'm not into it that deeply, but
Okay. I
but
thought you were. Sorry.
the guys that we were hanging with at that last seminar we went to, they're super into it, like big style, you know.
Interesting.
And a lot of it goes to cold fusion, and there's a lot of guys that are doing a lot of sacred geometry through cold fusion. It's all perfect, right?
Yeah.
All of the free energy and all of these things are going to become, in our lifetime, we're going to see all of this back again.
Yeah.
Because they're on YouTube, you know.
I know, free.
Original, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I don't know how many people have already built them, right?
Yeah.
But the ones that died were the ones that were shouting about it, or the ones that were made to be the guinea pig. We're going to kill him and we're going to make you know about it just so that you don't build one, or whatever, you know.
I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you the patent office in the U.S.?
You mentioned something.
Did I tell you this?
Tell me.
So I don't know where I saw this. I think I was watching a video on free energy, and they spoke of a story where there was a man who created a way to make cars run on water.
Oh, the hydrogen guy.
Yes. And he filed a patent for it or something. He was going through the process of, I guess, doing this and releasing this, but he suddenly was eating dinner and died. And then no one ever heard about anything that he created ever again, yet it was revolutionary when there was some word about it. And then it kind of just like a fire that was about to start just immediately got put out. And no, don't want that. So this person who I was listening to, I forget where it was. It might have been Joe Rogan or something else. But the person was talking to him and said, I used to work at the U.S. Patent Office. And there's a lot of military people in there. And I'll tell you right now, the military runs it. Because when a patent comes through and it's a patent about free energy, oh, we're going to go get that right now. Because we are the ones who have that technology already, and we want to control when that is ready to be released to the public.
And I think it's also from...
And that was a crazy... I was like, whoa.
I think it's also from a perspective of it's very dangerous because you're opening wormholes.
Yes. And I think that's their perspective. Whoa, we have to first figure out how to get our defenses in order.
And
because
your consciousness has to be at a certain level to actually even see something or have access to something like that. I think the universe is designed perfectly that you
Absolutely.
don't. You know,
Absolutely.
it's being policed. And I think we do need that.
I feel that. It's part of our soul's
it's all part of the
incarnation.
Thing, right? We do need the policing because otherwise we could just be doing whatever we want and affecting
And that's maybe not what
others.
our souls came in for.
No, we came in for some sort of...
The real human experience where you got to pay taxes and fucking get a job and go to university and getting all that kind of debt. Hopefully you become a doctor or a lawyer or something good. You remember Life, the game? You had to like hope you were a doctor because then you made $500,000 a year. It was like the best job in the game.
Because it's all about the money, right?
It's all about the money. It's like, that's how you win the game. I remember being a kid playing Life, feeling like, man, this is kind of dumb. There's like 5 roles. The best is the doctor. I feel like it's trying to tell me to go be a doctor, and I don't want to do that.
No, mate, you get to the stage where you realize that we were so deeply programmed.
Absolutely.
But through everything.
Everything.
Through TV shows and...
board games like Life.
Everything.
Monopoly.
But just even telenovas where everyone's getting divorced and having affairs and...
Life. Is that a show, telenovas?
No, like those telenovas, the soap operas.
Yeah.
Okay. The single mothers watch when the fathers are working, That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Lots of programming.
Just so much programming, bro. Like, you can just go meet your soulmate and just live happily ever after.
Yes, you can.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's not Disney, because that's what they say, right? They also program you that you live happily ever after. They don't show you what happens after.
No.
What happens after they get home,
Yeah. Wow.
But when you're doing the work, and you found your soulmate, and you're doing the work, and you're expanding together. Yeah, it's possible. It is possible.
And the vast majority of mankind, let's be very clear. I could calibrate this right now, but I just know intuitively.
Are settling.
97% or more are not in a divine union, soul, twin flame connection, whatever you want to call it.
Also because of programming.
And it is heavily because of a lot of the programming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why it's so beautiful we get to talk about this, because we've been through some doors.
For sure.
And there's only one way you can actually speak of what it feels like to be in a divine union. You have to have experienced it. You have to have felt it and felt what it feels like to have a soul level connection. And then you can write a book about it. And then all of a sudden, all these 16-year-old girls that read it, I think The Untethered Soul is a good book that really helped me when I was a kid reading that. I remember feeling like, where is this being's consciousness? How was this even written? It's such a foreign language. But yeah, there's us souls that get to go through the experience, and it's just so, wow, you can't not share it. Mm-hmm. It makes you so radiant and loving.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this. I mean, the people that come on this are going to be talking about things from their soul.
Yeah.
And being authentically expressed.
Yeah.
And that's what we all want to be, right? We just want to be ourselves. We want to be true to ourselves and express that, which is very helpful when you live in Vanau, because you're just seeing yourself.
Move your mic a bit closer.
You head to the.
You can pull it.
You head to the supermarket and 15 hugs you get.
Yeah, bro.
I've not worn shoes for 3.5 years. It's just beautiful to. Well, I don't know if we want to go into Vanau, but
yeah. Let's beautiful. Keep this thread going, dude.
Vanau is magic, yeah.
Yes,
it's just magic.
It is.
Wow, where do you go with Vanau? I mean, Vanau has certainly taught me. It's taught me how to be the projector. You know, how to be rather than do.
Yeah.
I went through an experience like that where, yeah, I don't know if I want to go there either. Where were we?
Vanau is magic.
Vanau is magic.
I'll pick it up a little bit and go for a little share on Vanau is magic. For those of you who don't know me prior to Vanau, we're going to put a photo up on the screen above this wood table so that you can see it. And then post Vanau, you can see, I don't know, I'll put up another photo of this just like 2.5 years later. That is what Vanau does to you. Visually, like just look at the contrast. You think, whoa, hold on. That dude's entire clothing line changed. His entire body changed. Lost like 20 pounds. His entire demeanor has changed if you've gotten to witness it through the years. And he's hanging out with totally different people. He no longer has a business. He sold all his businesses and is devoting all of his energy now to a nonprofit that is devoted to just raising the consciousness of mankind. Someone would really look at that situation and say, that guy's off his fucking rocker.
We all did.
Yeah.
You were off your rocker. At some point or other.
Yes.
But when we remembered that you were just me. You were just me. Doing it faster than I did it. Fucking way faster, bro.
I can't believe you guys got to witness that.
Yeah, we witnessed.
You were all just like, whoa, this dude's remembering some shit.
Wow, fast, man.
Yeah.
You spun into Enlightened Eagle and then spun back down again, and then it's like boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom.
and here we are.
Yeah.
In the Satori podcast.
Oh,
It's been a ride.
that's for now.
It's been a ride. It's been
That's for now.
Because we were in the same business. We were in the same.
That's a whole.
We were, yeah.
I actually, one of the primary reasons, just, you know this, but I want to remind you, it's a funny story. I was really deep in the business rabbit hole. I was obsessed with making money and trying to mass as much of that as possible. And I came down to Vinau, and I really only knew one person. It was Alan. And he happened to be somebody who ran an e-commerce brand business, selling products on Amazon and probably Etsy or whatever other places. And since I had an advertising agency that helped these types of businesses, the one that you had, we had done a call prior to me actually coming here, and we had audited your business. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I came here, I knew you, and I remember feeling your energy. And to me, you just seemed like the happiest, most vibrant dude. So open, so much time to just talk. I remember feeling like I'm always, when I first landed and I was with you, I was like, I need to be working or something. My mind was, and you were just so there, like, bro, how's Vinau? And I'm like, yeah, it's good. Surfing, cool. Like, I don't know. And your question was so fucking deep. And I was just like chilling on the ocean surface. Like, bro, I don't know. I'm still working, Yeah. And I felt, wow, I don't think I can move here. And you're like, why? I was like, I don't know. The internet speed isn't really fast enough. You said, mate, what are you talking about? What kind of internet speed do you need? I said, I have 1,000 megabytes per second in the city. And you said, okay. I said, yeah. You said, well, what do you need? I said, bro, I at least 500. I don't know what it's. You said it's like 30 megabytes per second up and down here. Yeah. How do you even work on a laptop? You said, mate, what are you talking about? That's more than enough.
It's more than enough.
That's insane. And I had this realization that, oh my God, I'm so mentally blocked by where my consciousness is in terms of being in business and going the fastest and making the most money as quickly as possible, that the Wi-Fi speeds was preventing me from the consideration that I could move to this place. That's just where I was. And you convinced me in that moment, and that was a huge variable that made me feel, oh, I can live in Vinau. That's possible, because there's this other entrepreneur dude. He runs his business,
which when you get here,
stops.
Yeah. It's I can spend now 10 minutes a week or a day maximum on the computer. It's very difficult to open the computer here, brother. To go into the 2 dimension.
Yeah, I've been doing it a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been doing it a lot also lately, which I thought was going to be hard, but it's actually quite easy.
Yeah.
But it became the point that I got to was just like, I can't open. I don't even want to go there. I'm not going there. And then I went through a spiral of when I was 50. When I was younger, I looked at people at 65 and was like, I'm not retiring at that age.
Yeah.
Even the word retired. I just thought about this the other day and I was like, I'm not retired. But 50 was when I said, I'm done. I don't want to work when I'm 50. And I experienced that here in Vinau. But it was a realization of my business partner and I separated. I still own a large majority shares holder in the company. Everything's good. He's running it. It's all great. But I put myself in a position where I didn't need to do anything at all. So then I was up in the Cañas Hills and I had the realization, wow. And it was my 50th birthday.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is it. And I immediately started spiraling into, what am I going to do? 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 So that took around 8 months to get that out my nervous system also.
It took me a long time too.
Yes. So then you wake up in the morning now and there's nothing there. It's like,
yeah,
here I am. That takes a while. It takes a while because your nervous system's used to moving and jumping and
getting into it, working.
Getting into it, man. Getting into it.
Yeah.
So Vinau for me has been massively transformational through the realization of my nervous system, which has been tight and pulling and left and right, up, down. Realizing that you know, all of the compression that's been on my body, all of the sitting.
Yeah.
That's why I've got hip pain or had hip pain, because,
Yep.
you know, for 12 hours, we're supposed to
Laptop.
move. We're supposed to move every 20 minutes,
Yeah.
half an hour. Of course, they don't care. So, yeah, the realization that, wow, I'm not working, and being forced into that through a manifestation that I did when I was a kid, looking at and realizing, wow, what am I going to do? And it's 2 years after, and I'm now like, still, I've came back to it again. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
What we go? But 2 years were necessary for that reset to fully be.
Yeah.
Because it's many years being me.
Yes.
That-
Many years.
Many years.
Wow. Many years.
So even the adjustment
wow.
in the body, also the body, the cracking and the constant realignment, yoga every day for months to just get your legs back to where they're supposed to be. Coming from Scotland also, I went to this thing in Austin that was you stand in front of a camera and it takes 4 images of you. And I remember that I was leaning forward, my calf muscles are always sore. That came from me being in Scotland because I was always on the ready in the bar.
Shut the fuck up.
Every fucker in the bar.
You're on your toes.
You have an extra. It's an awareness of you're in a bar. When's it going to fucking kick off in here? And then you've got this awareness, which at that time I wasn't aware that was empathy or my ability to feel. So that was probably my first experience. I had this, so I was bent over. When the camera, he's like, wow, you're leaning forward, like, and I was like, really? And he's like, you're turning, and I was turning because I was shy. This was the feminine side I was shying away from. So all of that from four images. So like recalibrating and readjusting your spine.
Yeah.
Bringing all your muscles back into
homeostasis.
Yeah, back online again. Animal flow, yoga, qigong. Just getting your body back moving the way it's supposed to again. It's been a fucking
powerful.
It's been a fucking journey, bro. So yeah, it's not been easy, even though we live in an incredible place. But it's very helpful, isn't it, to be here? And
yes, it is.
I thought I'd be bored shitless because
So
it's
did
just
I.
a sunrise and a sunset. But that's the best thing of the day.
That's the best part of the day.
Because it's always different. And we should post some of the sunsets.
Yeah. I'll put it in the
sure,
video
you
right
better
now.
post them. Wow.
Yeah, we'll put it in right now.
Wow. For now, yeah. I don't know who's going to see this podcast, but just come on down.
Yeah.
And we'll have a lot of fun.
So much fun.
We'll have a lot of fun.
So much fun.
What the big thing for me in Vanau has been, you know how when you meet your soulmate, you meet soulmates. You have that, a soulmate for me is when you feel that you trust the person. Or you just, there's a familiar essence.
Yeah.
You know, I've met many soulmates in Panama. Many.
Wow.
Like, Panama's very special. I've been here 20 years or so. But wow, I've had so much fun in Panama. And I've had so many wonderful relationships with wonderful beings here.
Ah, so beautiful.
But nothing to the extent of when I came here.
Wow.
Because everyone's my soulmate.
Yeah.
Everyone. It's like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just gets better and better every day.
Yeah.
That's what I say every day. And it's a normal thing to say being here. It gets better and better every day. And when I confirm it with others, it's confirmed.
Yeah.
Because they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll get days where somebody's like,
yeah.
don't know.
Some ups
having
and
an off
downs.
day, but it's good, bro.
It
Generally
is.
on an upward.
Yeah.
Curve.
You know, Facebook, like how there's uptime status websites, like how if the website's down, it'll
Yes.
tell you. Whenever I think about like consciousness and just happiness and just feeling a sense of clarity and feeling very calm and peaceful, I feel like my uptime, as of maybe the last 18 to 24 months, like maybe like 18 to 12 months, has been high 90s. Like, and that's what I felt when you were saying what you were saying, like upward trends and also just generally really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you the ability to observe your subconscious mind,
Yes.
see where your programs are running, knowing that you're the creator, that you're not want to repeat those, cleaning, adjusting, and just there's more space for love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible to meet so many people that you remember. And then there's those that want to remember, and then they come to me and I give them a light therapy session.
Yeah, you give them a light therapy session.
Which gives them an adjustment period of, at least it puts the ego to sleep for a session. And then they pretty much remember sometimes. Well, most of the time they remember. And then they've got it's kind of like the mountain. We're all on a mountain, but we're in some of us are on the side having this direction, but then it gives them a new view that they never even knew existed.
Higher foundation.
Higher foundation. And then they can walk. Now they have a path. So they can
they're walking a bit better.
Which we're all doing.
Which we're all doing. But it's super cool you get to witness this.
I think that's one of the highest things, highest joys for me is to see transformation in others.
Wow.
It's beautiful to watch.
It is beautiful.
And you know that it's you because, and also when you're coaching or when you're having conversation, my human design is all connected to my throat, so I don't get in the way of the person that's in front of me. So my superpower is transparency. So it's like, if you don't like it, tough fucking shit, because it's you. Whether you want to see it right now or not isn't my concern. So I've made enemies like that, but it's not been enemies as such as disharmonious interactions. Because that fucker can see me and I don't want to go hang out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I'm being watched for real.
Yeah, so I've went through that when I first came to Vanuatu. I used to take a cookie or whatever and fucking just expanded into this new reality of I can see everything. And I'm watching that person just lie and I had that, and I couldn't hold it in either. I had to just be like, do you know that that's because of this, and I'm just channeling. But that was what came online for me in Vanuatu also.
I think I remember you going through that, and I remember I was still in business at this time, right? Because I remember a portion. I had a memory where I think I still was, because I really just got out recently, maybe like 12 months ago or something. But earlier in the first year of living here, I had moments where I remember coming home to Claudia, and it was after I had been to Kaleo's for dinner. We'll start here. I go to Kaleo's for dinner. You're there. I sit with you because we're friends, and I love you at this time, and still now, but at this time. And you just fucking went off. And I don't think I said more than like 5-10 words. And I remember and you were telling me about some deep like spiritual insights and connections and ways and stuff that was just moving. And I don't know. I don't even remember if it was about me or if it was about something else. I remember leaving that night and I got home and I was like, babe, I can't fucking stand Alan. Jesus fucking Christ, this man just spoke the whole time. I was like, wow. And
it's the first time I've heard this now. Wow,
and meanwhile,
Triggered the bitch.
when you were talking to me, there were so many times where I wanted to just be like, hey man, I love you, but I just can't hear this. And I didn't say it. And that was my intuition and my intuition and my intuition. And it was ignored every time. And it was ignored so much that by the time I left, I was just bothered. I was annoyed. I was just fucking, I just can't connect with that guy. I don't know what it is.
And what happened? What was it?
It was just, you mean in the moment? Like, what was my realization now looking back? Oh, dude. I mean, I was so triggered. I had an inability to speak my truth. I had this guy in front of me that was so fucking real and authentic in his expression that he just didn't care. Like, he's just in his own world. It's all good. He's expressing, he's being his creator, and I'm suppressing mine by just sitting here and not liking it. And that's a double-edged sword. And I felt so deeply, maybe only it was a year later, we had more connections and they were good. And I was starting to like you more in the sense that, like, oh wow, I can connect with Alan. This is incredible. He's actually one of my favorite people.
Yes, but
he's actually one of my favorite people that I love. Whereas like before I was over there with,
and all that's happening really is we're both just fucking changing, and as we're changing, we're reflecting.
Yeah,
you know, all the interactions that we're having, and then we meet. Even if we meet a week later, we're not the same.
Yeah,
it's been that
every moment. It's always
that
different.
journey between you and I has been like that because it's been, you know, you're.
But now I'm in a place where when I'm in your presence, I'm fully in my power. And so if I don't want to be with you or if I don't want to talk about this, I'm just going to be like, yo, what do you think about this? Something else. And what I've noticed is that I've gotten such harmony between us in our relationship, in our dynamic. I just feel this sense of I could be anywhere with Alan and we would be the chillest motherfuckers side by side. I wouldn't feel weird about anything. I know he wouldn't feel weird about anything.
Would you die for me?
Depends on the situation.
No, this came up last night. I was talking to someone. And it was like, who would I die for? And
that's a whole thread.
Yeah, but you came up.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
You came up.
Yeah.
I felt that we've already died together.
Probably.
And also, Joshua.
We've horsed around a lot too.
For sure. But that came up. And I thought, I wonder if I'm going to ask Taylor on the call. And I wonder what he's going to say.
Yeah.
And he hesitates. He's hesitating.
I had to think about it. Well, it depends on the context.
Like, go, give me which context. Give me a context.
I don't know, right? Like, if I'm there and the capacity is within me to save you, I would do it. Absolutely. It would be a default. I wouldn't hesitate. If I had the opportunity to be there for you in whatever way, in whatever situation, I would totally try to do it. I don't know. I can't speak for the future and what the situation may hold. I've never been in a situation like that. So it doesn't feel like I'm like qualified for a situation. You know what I mean? I'm not like a whatever. And
it's just a yes or a no answer.
It feels like a yes.
Yes, good.
It feels like a yes.
Let's go into the future. That's my favorite place to go.
Okay, let's do it.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, man. Okay, here's what I can say with clarity and certainty and feel. This is just certainty from my beingness. I won't speak of anything else. I will marry Claudia. We will have children. We will buy land. We will build a home. That home will hold many gatherings filled with many beings from many different levels of consciousness. And it will be the most incredible melting pot of souls that are all there for one singular purpose of unifying everyone and coming together to experience pure consciousness and love and oneness together. And those events will be so beautiful. It'll be so beautiful to just be there with all these beings that we love. You know what I mean? Imagine like Vanal, but you just send an email to your list of souls that love your shit online, and then all of a sudden the most like legendary ones show up because they're like, we fucking know where you guys are at. We feel like the level of depth that you speak of, so we want to go to your fucking thing and your event, you know, so we can all hang out together. It's not about making money. It's just like, let's all get together.
Yeah.
And there has to be a beacon. And so Satori is the beacon. And that's why I'm so devoted to Satori, because it's a way to reach mankind and call in souls to build what you could consider like a vortex of souls that are all rising together in a similar level of consciousness because they're receiving similar information from similar beings. Me and you having this conversation, our way in witnessing reality calibrates at such a high truth, and the way it intermingles and the way it can be received by mankind, it's like a giant magnet that people are just like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of really beautiful truths coming out of this beacon. So it's just, I feel that is all I can speak of with certainty, and that's what I hold in my heart whenever I feel into what I'm doing. I sometimes have these random visions of the wedding is so fucking beautiful. I'm like bawling my eyes out crying because this is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, and it's a soul level connection. And what the actual fuck, you know? I'm surrendering to this thing.
So you believe Vinao is heaven?
Vinao, well, I thought we were just talking about the future in general. I don't know where that's all going to take place.
No, you could have went anywhere. I said, what's the future? I was going to say the future of the world.
Okay.
Future of...
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Did you say that Vinao is heaven, though? Is that what you said?
I asked you, do you think it is?
Oh, yeah,
do you
I
feel
do.
it is?
Yeah, I've had that moment many times. Very deep experiences of seeing Vinao as heaven. And it's incredible. You know, obviously it's not every day.
People have asked me also. One guy asked me and I was like, does it feel like heaven? And it kind of does. It does feel very beautiful.
Yeah.
So it already is attracting beautiful beings here, right? The beautiful beings that are already here are...
Right.
Everyone that comes seems to be pretty beautiful, you know?
Some people asked me, they said, do you ever think you'll run out of people to talk to? There's only 300 people that live there. I said, no, you have no idea. The portal that's open in Vinao and the gateway of fucking souls that just come through this thing. It is like
and it's not easy.
Train station in New York.
It's not easy to get here. It's not difficult, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
5 hours from Panama City.
No, yeah, it's not the easiest place to get to. And it
Driving.
is quite literally in the middle of nowhere. And that's why it's so beautiful. Is there's just nature, ocean. It's a cove. So it's just like, we're in a little cove. It's so nice. We're nestled in.
And we don't want everyone to come either.
Yeah, we don't want everyone to come. We got a little baby.
We can't be
airport.
selective, though. We can't be selective.
No.
can't judge.
No, absolutely. But no, I do feel, though, that the beings that are here, I look through a certain, like a particular lens, you could say, because having gone through my own subjective, incredible experiences of transformation, I think, wow, if you're here, this is so special. Like, congratulations. What's up? I want to talk to you and meet you, you know, and that type of connection and excitement that can unfold so spontaneously and bringing you into such a deep connection with somebody so randomly, just because someone is so open, they're so loving, and their heart's just blasted open.
And it's your soulmate.
And then it happens to be your soulmate, or it's just Joshua on the street and it's some random dude like Joshua and he's like, brother, like, let me give you a hug. It doesn't even know you. And you're just like, whoa, what is this? So yeah, I'm so happy to be a being of love and light here for all the beings that I don't know, because it's like, welcome to my heaven. I love you.
Yeah. Everyone that's here is in heaven anyway. I mean,
yeah.
It seems like a qualification phase for sure. And I'm sure that there's many pods around the world like this. And it's just, I'm looking at your painting over there and I see connection points on a flower of life behind you.
Yeah, the sun.
And it just looks like that's what's going on here, you know? There's just more connections here.
Yeah.
And it's a sacred ground.
It is a sacred ground.
I feel like we've done it over and over.
Yeah.
Over and over. Here we are again.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
To remembering.
Yeah. That'd be a good Vinao shirt. It's a photo of a sunset in Vinao, And then the bottom says, welcome to remembering.
Welcome to remembering.
Or on a tote bag by Healy.
Wow.
That would be incredible. That's the tote I would buy.
Yes, I get it.
Amen.
Me too. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. I might even slap it on a Satori logo shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Welcome to remembering.
Wow.
We gotta make a song out of that.
Did I sign that also? Have I signed that off? Is that yours?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just kidding. If you want to do it, do it.
We still want to get to hold on to
yeah,
it.
we're just, no, wait, it's mine.
Oh,
I'll do it on Satori for sure.
I'm buying the domain. I'm buying the domain name right now.
Not the trademark.
Oh wow!
Welcome to remembering. That is such a beautiful slogan. Welcome to remembering.
It seems like that's going to be the slogan.
Or just Vinao Sunset, and then below it says, I am Vinao.
I am Vinao.
That would be cool too.
I am Vinao.
I am Vinao.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, God bless this place. And also, I'm so excited to leave and be out of the dome and maybe be out of it for a long time. I don't know. It feels like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen. So
Neither do I.
that's why I was asking about the future.
Yeah, wait, tell me about you. I went down a big thread. What do you think's going to happen in the future?
Disease free.
Oh no.
Disease
free. You missed the
You thought I was going to go down the hole.
There was a lag. I was like, not disease.
Not disease. Don't go there.
Oh, bro.
We're going in
That was a
reverse.
cliffhanger, bro.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was you had me so deep. Next time, if you extend that a second more, my face might go.
You're going to kill the cameras. Mute.
Yeah, mute.
I believe that we are within the next 10 years going to see elimination of disease based upon all disease as a manifestation of something that doesn't serve you, that you're holding on to. That's so through therapies, you're going to be dropping physical, emotional, energetic cleansing, and while doing the right exercises for your body, eating the correct foods for your blood type, for your DNA, doing things that are optimal for your body, and like sensors on. We talked about this a long time ago when I was in Austin, but sensors, you pee, the sensor reads your data, sends the information to the blender, you get your perfect smoothie with exactly the powders for you, personalized. So future, like Star Trek, I go there. I love Star Trek. That whole.
I feel that for you.
Yeah, I'm into
Tech.
to that stuff, and tech, big time into tech, and there's a lot of energetic. Medicine is going to be energy.
What did you say the name of it? Bioenergetics?
Yeah.
As the field of medicine?
It's always been that. It's always been, it was suppressed for so long. But that's why they don't want you to know these frequencies.
Yeah.
Because
that's why they changed the... what is it?
Frequency.
The 462 to 464?
No, 444 to 432. No, 3... What is it? 341 or 4?
I don't know it. What is it again? It's the scale of... It's a certain type of frequency for...
cymatics.
I don't remember.
Cymatics, where the human body is tuned to specific frequencies, and then they changed the note.
Yes.
In music.
And it's now not as harmonious. So it's more dysregulating and not aligned. Super funny how they did that.
Yes. That was the Nazis that apparently did that back in the day. That's what's going around in and the internet, where the dial tone was changed.
Yeah.
So even as soon as you put your phone to your ear, your nervous system or your immune system would be compromised.
Wow.
And it maintains you in this state, this area of your head.
Wow, that's advanced tech at that time. Do you know what I mean? Advanced like warfare, in the sense that, okay, here's a subtle thing.
Yeah.
We know it's not going to make a major difference.
But I don't think anything made ever a major difference, because you could obviously see it then. So there's multiple things that they did through food and your cell phones, and how everything was just. Well, I don't know if we want to go into that deep.
Well, I was more so, I know. That's a whole thing where the internet doesn't really like it when you talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it too much, but we won't go that deep. But what I was saying was that it's an advanced war strategy, because, at the end of the day, they want to take over the world. We're talking about Germany at that time, and the Nazis. And you have such a subtle shift that you decide, okay, we'll make this shift to see if it helps us in our incredible battle. Wow. I've never really looked at it through the perspective of how maybe something that was changed in a vibrational frequency 50, 60 years ago was tied to some war that was being fought. I didn't imagine, and then it just amplified, and then no one caught it, and it's just like kind of like a weed that needs to be plucked from the garden, but it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger because Spotify and Apple Music or whatever, and now frequencies are everywhere. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's all subliminal in your movies and in your sounds, your music, subliminal. You don't know what you're listening to.
Yeah.
You really don't, because subliminals you don't hear. You can buy some subliminal audios. But
define subliminal for everybody listening. Like, what does that mean?
Subliminal audios are when you would just buy an audio for hypnosis, for example, and you would be hypnotized directly to your subliminal mind.
Yes.
So you can't hear what's being said. So there's so much out there that I would assume. And
there's data that proves that does impact you and
massively
influence you. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I wish that they taught that in school to people. Hey, know that what you listen to has a vibration, and that influences you.
And it's also making up your day. Like when I was in Austin studying with this Russian Jewish guy, amazing guy, he was basically saying the average American has 927 touch points in a day. So that means that person is getting distracted.
By that many frequencies?
By that many times duration.
Oh.
So when you live in America, you see the ads, it's like every 15 minutes. But then there's a whole bunch of subliminal stuff that goes along the bottom, speaking very fast. May cause blah, 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 blah. Somebody recently said tobacco doesn't cause cancer. I've always said the picture of the damaged lung, smoking kills, is worse.
Holy shit.
So the subliminal of you, I know it's killing me. It's just like
and then all of mankind,
the inauthentic.
What's also crazy is all of mankind that doesn't smoke. Like me when I was a kid,
and
saw
you still
that,
see it.
And I believed smoking kills, and then you have all the people that don't smoke that also believe it. So all of
everyone
the
believes
consciousness of mankind says it does kill you. Wow.
Which is the vibration of whatever you're eating is also killing you or not based upon what you're believing, right?
Yeah.
So if ice cream's bad for me,
yes. Oh, it's bad for you.
But it's
not.
But they've also now done studies where it's not.
Yeah.
If the person's believing that it's good for them, they do all the markers.
We call that the placebo effect.
Of course. But
isn't that
there's
crazy?
So much bombardment of advertising that says sugar's bad now.
Yeah.
But there's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, subliminal programming, right? That makes sense. Subliminal programming is such an incredible topic. I'm so glad you brought that up.
As an experiment, I want to do a bit of light therapy device and music, and do subliminals through inducing specific brainwave frequencies on the dance floor.
I love that idea.
while people are dancing and enjoying, but the frequencies that are coming through the lights
Yep.
are assisting a specific brainwave.
Yes.
So can we adapt this
Wow.
to be, we can do an experiment, for example.
Yeah.
A bunch of people on drugs and a bunch of people not on drugs. Who has the most fun? So we can put the frequencies of the sound and
Wow.
lights together, bring a DJ, and we'll do a full experience.
Oh, that would be so good.
That would be cool.
You let me know.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be so cool.
Yeah. So something like that to see how you can influence on a positive.
Yeah. See, this is what I feel for you, that you're really dharmically aligned to, is this sense of how do we allow beings to advance faster. With these scientific inventions and spiritual understandings. That's so beautiful. It's almost, we could call it spiritual science in a weird realm or a category where you're playing with machines and spiritual understanding. And so you're hypothesizing based on that. Okay, if we use this particular field while that music is playing and all that music has these frequencies, and then we get a bunch of souls that are like this together. You're even like aligning souls, maybe, let's say. It's incredible to feel into
I have a vision.
the awareness.
Yeah. I believe that we're in the position where now, by accepting that you are the teacher, because we're always students, but really owning the teacher.
Yeah, it's
Owning the teacher
yes.
is through the process of teaching.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
When-
Profound.
So when you become the teacher, the students appear, and there's this delay of you
Wow.
not wanting to jump into that role.
Wow.
So it's, you've got all the energy centers aligned. You feel into the beings in front of you or a group of beings. And at the same time, you're connected. Everyone that's there is exactly there because you both have an agreement in advance as two souls to remember each other, to remind each other of something. You have a frequency for me, I've got a frequency for you.
Yeah.
I become the teacher, they become the teacher, and we just, do the dance.
Do the
Do the wee,
hopopopo,
the wee shiggly wiggle.
the shiggly wiggle between teacher student.
And going back to what you said, I believe that we can do it way faster than we've been told. I mean, the whole thing about people being ill is also an illusion.
Yes.
It's also a belief. It's also, of course, the food, of course, the pharmaceutical industry,
Of
course,
course.
all of this
Yes.
programming through the television, and your phones and your all of it now.
5G.
So you're getting bombarded by it.
Spiritual warfare.
At the same time, it is the consciousness. It's a high speed consciousness upgrade as well, because moving from 4G telephone network to 5G and 4D, 5D. It's funny how we say that, fourth dimension. I think everything is right in front of you. I think the telephone network is the consciousness volume control. I think that's what's going on. And I think that there's so much negative around 5G that it is what we're saying. It is the scary, the boogeyman under the bed, which you get scared of. So that you invoke, you see a tower being built, you get angry.
Yes.
You believe that it's hurting you.
Yes.
Every time you're touching your phone, you believe it's hurting. But maybe it's not. I was a conspiracy guy. Chemtrails were being poisoned. I met someone who went, maybe it's fairy dust. And I was like,
that's
maybe
an
it
interesting
is.
perspective.
Maybe it's vitamin C powder. I know that it's aluminium or aluminum, and it's poisoning the soil, and it's making genetically seeds, the only ones we're going to be able to grow based upon the environment and the pH of the soil. I know this, but I think that they're going to get stopped.
Yeah.
There is no they anyway. It's just us playing a game with ourselves, or maybe it's the maintenance of the matrix. And we just get to remember, because we see it now.
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can really do about it. It's just we're seeing the mechanics of the engine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to get upset about it.
Yeah.
Because it just is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why we even got here.
I don't remember either, but it's an incredible thread. And there seems to be a point. Yes, go.
I think I remember.
Yeah, send it.
It was you saying about what I believe a future will be. And we went into the whole of medical.
Disease-free.
Yes. And I do resonate with what you're saying, because having the vessel tuned to being receiver, transmitter, while being for the person.
Yeah.
The safety. The safety of home. The feeling of home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just met a girl recently, and that was that was the thing that nailed it for me. The feeling of home. The feeling of safety.
Yeah.
So having that feeling and allowing someone to sit and bathe in that space.
Yeah, like taking a bath.
Yeah. And then while remembering for them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, having technologies around that can just, see the body, what's going on in the body, physical.
Yeah.
How's the DNA? How's the blood work? How's the supplementation? How's the diet? Really, AI just, AI has already been through all the medical records in the world. They're not going to give you access to that. Some people are going to form incredible businesses that have got the solution for instant awakening, instant perfect health. Choose.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, and I believe that you're going to choose what age you're going to live. What age you're going to maintain.
Yeah.
Because you're going to give up linear time.
Yeah.
You're just not going to care when your birthday was. Maybe. That could be a thing. We celebrate the birthdays so aggressively to remember that we're getting older.
You know Corey Good?
Yes.
So, incredible being. He spoke of the 20 and backs. And what would happen is from age 20 to 40, he would serve in the MDF, the Mars Defense Force, where he was just basically on Mars patrolling, making sure that all their labs and stuff was safe. And at the end of the 20 years, they transfer your consciousness into a clone that they made 20 years prior, several clones that they always keep. And they have the technology to detach your soul from this physical vessel, flesh, and attach it to a different one, while in the same timeline, you just enter a new vessel in a certain sense. So he did this twice. And he said there's a certain limit to it based on the technology, that we can only do it twice right now. There's some, limitations to the technology. But what you're talking about in terms of choosing your age and all of this, I do feel and see that technology so strongly. And having already heard of it through different beings like Corey Good and many others that have physically experienced it, it does seem like this is what we're unfolding into. And I feel that it is very much around the corner, especially with AI. I feel like there almost needs to be some reveals, like open the curtains, because if you don't,
these
you know what I mean?
Well, they can't just keep killing people.
Yeah.
Obviously, and they've been doing it obviously for years now.
Give us the vibration that turns off cancer already,
or maybe well, we've got it already, right?
Like, just put it in the hospitals for everybody. You fucking jokesters!
Yes,
what are you doing?
I know, like,
put in the fucking hospitals. It's gonna heal all the cancer. And what's so crazy is that, from what I know and what I have heard, I'd love to go into this intuitively with Carrie, but there's a intergalactic conglomerate. And sort of like the board of humanity, if you will, really just doesn't know how to express to mankind what's gone on. The narrative, like we're afraid that if we all of a sudden, here's free energy and the capacity to have perfect quality food that's almost like print on demand. And then don't worry about illness, disease. That's not even a thing anymore. Here's all the technology for that. Also, if you want to live an extra 20 years, 50, 100, we got that too. That's free also. And it doesn't cost you a dime. The
Vanilla Sky
scare
movie.
in the board is that if we reveal this, people are just going to have a mental breakdown. They're not going to be able to process it and handle it or take it. And we don't know how to go about revealing these truths. And
it showed it on that. There's a Netflix show called Three Sun. I don't remember, but we'll add it in later.
okay.
But, you know, something happened and they all just hung themselves, you know. Everyone was just hanging themselves because there was such a radical shift in something that wasn't...
Aligned with their vision?
No, basically they covered the sky. Like these aliens were coming and they covered the sky. So the whole sky just went dark. And it was just like doomsday. They were on their way.
Is this a real thing that happened?
No, this was just a Netflix. It's
documentary?
Live. Yeah, it's a
movie.
It's a series.
Got it. Okay.
And what were we saying again? What were we saying?
Well, I was talking about free the people and the technology and how the IGC.
Yeah, and that was it. So they just, I'm agreeing, and what I see with the cell phones, there must be some sort of monitoring station. Also, there's an understanding of this. This phone is understanding your DNA. You're giving it feedback. It's giving you feedback. It's tuned to your frequency.
Yeah.
Everything is, you know, at the high, in the main office, there's technologies that we don't get to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
all the time.
So the fact that these cell phones are tuned to your DNA and your brainwaves, and there's an influence going on. We're carrying them everywhere with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to go where we were going to go before that we said we didn't want to go to, but there was basically, when electricity was invented back in the day, people died because their DNA, their
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, so this is what's happening as we progress through technological advances and we switch on new frequencies.
Yes.
If the vessel is not ready to receive those frequencies, or in an immune negative state, like an elderly or
yeah, they die.
that will affect them in a much larger capacity.
Of course. Okay.
So,
got it. Wow. So people died. That's crazy.
So when you put it together with what's going on right now without seeing it,
Yes.
you can say that there was a shift, there was an upgrade to the matrix, and it was along the lines of a technology frequency, which is 100 times faster than the other. We already said it, but
Wow.
that's going to affect you.
Yeah.
That's going to affect your body.
Yeah. It's crazy because what we're talking about is that as the world progresses, as mankind's technology progresses,
Our DNA has to keep up.
the fields that are emitted from this technology goes through the vessel, and that influences your evolution. And then there's a whole other side of it, which is that as we partake in a ceremony or drop in on a medicine and integrate and heal some trauma, whether it be from this life or a past life or whatever it is, and then our level of consciousness rises through just healing of our own nature, that also influences. And it's this crazy dance of just, whoa. And some people, they can't dance it.
They don't want to dance.
And it just kills them, or they just puts them to be like severely ill. And it's incredible to witness that people who don't believe this, just look into epigenetics. Oh my God. Bruce Lipton, the founder of epigenetics, he wrote the book, The Biology of the Belief. I believe it's Bruce Lipton is his name. Incredible dude. Epigenetics is not new. You know, people used to say, oh, your genes are your genes or something. Oh, well, that's a genetic problem and there's no way to fix it. This wasn't long ago that we believed that that was the thing and that epigenetics was impossible. And now it's proof that what you hold in mind, your outlook on life, just your quote unquote beliefs, that influences your genetics.
Everything.
So hold on, we're talking about rewiring your lineage, your genetics, your whole lineage is being rewired.
The business guys have been rewiring us for a long time. The history, the way that they say that history is supposed to be, which causes you to believe a certain thing that allows them to sell you a certain service, and everything is so beautifully designed in the matrix.
Yeah.
And they don't, of course, want you to not be in that, because you're serving all of the businesses in that space.
Yeah.
We're disconnecting from that completely.
Yes.
Making our own.
Yes.
Remembering.
For full clarity, because this is a deep thread, what you're talking about, and you confirm if I'm right on this, is the matrix, as in all of the stuff that's kind of behind the curtains. You can call it, I don't know, deep state, cabal, unrevealed technology, just high powerful beings that have access to technology that's way advanced, using this awareness or this technology or whatever they have access to create a container.
Shepherds, you could call them also.
We could call them shepherds, a container that all these sheep follow whatever they do with their staff.
Yeah.
And that's all the energy that comes out of those sheep does go to the staff to a certain extent in a dark way, in a super dark way. And then you're talking about breaking free from that, transcending the matrix, realizing epigenetics, rewiring yourself.
Hence, doing a detox. Hence,
becoming your own shepherd.
Becoming your own shepherd.
Wow.
Nothing outside of yourself is relevant. I don't need a doctor. I don't need. I'm my own doctor. I have sensors now. I can track this or that. I have information now. I have AI that can plug into me somehow, or I can give a piece of blood that AI can analyze, even real time, as I'm saying, through pee or whatever.
Wow.
But whatever way we do this, whatever way we evolve, technology should be involved.
Yeah. It's just a natural flow of understanding the universe.
But on the other hand, if it goes too far, I'll be sitting around the campfire, probably with you.
Because we ain't trying to be that deep.
Yeah, and I think at some point you just decide, I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the game.
I'm tired of the game.
But I think there's a lot of things that we get to play and get to see now, because we're in an era of revelation.
Yeah.
An era of what's coming next.
Yeah.
What darkness is getting revealed now.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
and then more light is just, and we're all just like.
Hopefully, all porn gets taken off the internet.
That would be incredible. Wow,
That's
that would.
Something like that.
Lord, may it be so. If it's in the highest and best interest of mankind, that would be incredible. Yeah. I have this beautiful, what came up when you were saying that was, it's incredible that we pray for things that will bring greater peace for the world while still surrendering to whatever the big man's plan is and whatever the perfect unfoldment is. Because it doesn't fucking matter that you as an individual want world peace. It just may not be like that by the time you die, but you can pray for it. Or
you can be it.
Be it and experience it. And you might die and get to witness your influence on this incredible construct known as the human experience, which we all incarnated into. And when you exit, you get to witness all of those incredible things you did and how it rippled through all the other souls and just lifted them up because you were a light. That is so fucking special.
And you were all of the souls anyway.
Yeah. With that awareness, you were able to do that. So Satori for me is my dharmic path for doing that. You know, like I believe that for whatever reason, the Lord allowed the capacity for a lifetime to take place in which I spent 10 years learning marketing and advertising. And those 10 years were spent completely in the matrix. Like we worked with big brands, and I won't say their names. And we worked with all sorts of companies, also small brands. But now all of a sudden, I go through this awakening process. Holy shit. I know marketing so well. I also have been able to receive this awareness of the true nature of our quote unquote human experience and reality, and how it's so much more than just, oh, you're a human being and that's it. And when you die, you die. It's so much more than that. And yet 80% of mankind believes that. So for me, I felt like Satori and speaking the word and bringing beings that speak the word to share the word, the truth, and then showcasing that through all the platforms where the vast majority of the consciousness spends its energy is the best way to influence the ship for me. Obviously, there's so many other ways in which you can do it. There's so many other ways. I could be a shaman. I could do, I could do light therapy stuff for people. I could play with fields of consciousness that influence people on the dance floor. Nothing is better or worse or more effective per se. I feel as long as we're in our dharma, that's our most effective way of raising the ocean of consciousness.
I don't know if there's necessarily a haste to increase the frequency of humanity, but there possibly will be. You know, they're touting a disaster, they're touting floods, and all of these things probably are just going to happen anyway through a cyclical nature of the pendulum swinging. You know, we're in this infinity loop, and we're for me, I see the center point being, as 0 point. This is where we're moving away from a three-dimensional reality of dualistic nature, and we're on a bridge now, crossing over and turning to see an expansion of potential that we can influence.
Wow.
Whereas before we were caught in that sort
victim
of trap of needing to do.
Things are happening to me.
Now there's the game that I was playing. I'm going to play this game now, and I get to make the rules. I get to do it now the way that I want to do it.
Yes.
And
pop out of the matrix. You become like Neo.
That the same guy, Stevie. I meant to say this earlier. Stevie was that was the guy that were making fart sounds in the class. We also were watching The Matrix way back when it came out. God knows when that was. When was it?
1998.
Yeah. So I think I was still an electrician and 28 or something. I don't know what age I was. But we were deep in conspiracy theory at that time. I was posting shit on Facebook back then that people were like, "You're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
And I wasn't giving a fuck.
Yeah, neither was I.
Because I think we have that.
I posted Above Majestic on my Instagram and said, "This is the most important documentary everybody needs to watch." That's it. You got like 2 likes, of course. Nobody wants to see that alien face on the cover of that movie. Incredible movie, incredible documentary. Really sent me into rage about all of the shit that's going on. And it really had some solid evidence that would be difficult to call a conspiracy, but we do it anyways to sweep it under the rug.
That's just so old now, isn't it?
It is old. And that's a level of consciousness that we've both transcended. We can speak to it, but we've both light years away from it.
Yeah, it's well, go back to Neo. You said
Neo. Popping out of the Matrix.
We were we had watched The Matrix for the first time, and it was the best movie ever at the time, and we were like, fuck, Neo is the, when I did ayahuasca also, I saw that we were the resistance, in Terminator 2.
Whoa.
And I saw that, and that we were like, Star Trek, Star Wars, the resistance.
Whoa.
We are that. For me, that is
Whoa.
clear, and we've always been that frequency of truth that's been hidden, suppressed, disguised throughout all of that game. And now we move into this game fully authentically expressed and individually doing what you want to do.
Yes.
Remembering that you don't know what you want to do
Yeah.
because you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And then navigating through feelings instead of mind, thoughts, bullshit.
Yes. Rational.
So we're at this expansion. We've came from as above, so below, the roots of the tree. We've came out of the fucking dark ages. We're riding up the trunk. We don't know where the fuck we're going. But it's
It's an infinite growth
highway of wildness. And what we're doing is we're getting to be on each other's branches where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And all of the leaves on the trees are the people that you meet and hang with. And these
we chose to came here and do this.
Yeah, of course.
So fucking cool
Yeah.
that we made it. And we're here.
Yeah, and
Isn't that incredible?
so
Like,
the question
wow.
I'd asked when we went on a pee break was,
Yeah.
well, first of all, we need to go back to the egg.
Yeah,
Do
cool.
the egg
So
quick.
the egg.
The egg, just Google it. It's fucking wow. It's beautiful. Very short story. Short story, The Egg, and it'll come up. Can't remember the author. James someone, I believe. Now I'm
I said
lost.
we made it here. Incredible. We chose to come here. Wow. I can't believe.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
no. But then there was another you said about
Pop down in the Matrix.
pee. No, no.
Okay.
It's coming because you're going to spoil it. I'm at the tickly bit. Wow. Silence. I just remembered what came through now is
Okay.
my grandmother's favourite song was Make the World Go Away. Beautiful song. It's on Spotify, Make the World Go Away.
Wow.
And I can see her now dancing to it. And this is like kind of like what we're saying here. That came through now in that pause. Beautiful. So paste the link to that song on. Beautiful. Wow. Yes, the question was, if you were saying 80% of the population are calibrating at below 200 of the David Hawkins scale, Google that also. It's over there.
Scales right there. Yeah.
But it shows level of consciousness and what happens in that actual frequency, in that range. It's related to your chakras also. You're going up your heart. Once you get to your heart, you're expanding. And I think we're at this stage where the tree, once you do all this work through the ayahuasca and the shame and the guilt and the bullshit, and you just keep going. Quick explanation. My question to you was, what do you believe is also another way to raise the conscious of the planet faster? And you went into that.
Staying in your dharmic path. How for me it's Satori.
But you went into that. You said something just now. All of that, what you said there was related to that.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to give you another way that could be, if there's 80% at 200.
Yeah. Less than 200. This was 10 years ago. Calibrated.
Yeah, so now, how do you accelerate people that are morbidly obese,
Yeah.
completely lost in the matrix? They don't know, they don't know, they don't know, they don't know, they don't know.
They're deeply lost.
Just don't know.
Very lost souls.
Because of poisoning, because of
poisoning through foods, frequencies,
everything.
Where they live, the light over them, their cubicle that they work at, the terrible boss.
So what happens to them? Well, maybe there's all this talk of disasters. The soul's contract is ending for these beings, perhaps. They chose to be here in a situation where they wanted to be truly lost and completely disconnected from God. And that's where they're at. And that's perfect.
Perfect.
Too,
Yeah.
because they're just a fragment of you and me. We're all the same, one.
Yeah.
So if there's an annihilation, let's say, where the souls leave these vessels fast, the conscious of the planet will flip.
Yes.
So the souls will also leave.
Assuming lower calibrating souls are the ones who...
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm just saying.
In a horrific worldwide event, though, it would be vastly majority those beings.
Or not.
Or
people,
not, I
People
guess.
living next to an ocean
Yeah.
in Malibu,
Could be all the sages. All the sages die. Oh, shit.
But I'm just saying there's many ways to
Yeah.
shake a tree.
Yeah. And I think nature is shaking that tree always, and that's the beauty of God, is that, people think, oh, like, we need to clean the oceans, or we got to fix the what is it, the global warming problem, and this and that. And what's so beautiful is that humans are not the only beings influencing the world around you. The world around you is influencing the world around you. Everything is influencing everything else. And a lot of self-centered, individual, egoistic human beings get absolutely enraged by certain things that are taking place, but they unable to see the perfection in it and how it was all a choice and how you came here to see this. And you're now being presented with the opportunity to see it either in a hellish way. Oh my God, all that garbage in the ocean, like, all the people, this fuck the system, the political system sucks. They don't know how to deal with garbage, or we need to fix this, and you get into anxiousness or whatever state you get into. Or you can see it and say, oh, so it is. That's perfect. And that is meant to be here, because that garbage that is piled up in the ocean is also God. And that's a difficult thing for people to grasp. But what I feel we have in what you were saying is the opportunity to come to a purgatorial domain. And for those of you who don't know ecclesiastic doctrine, purgatorial, in my understanding and definition of it, is a domain in which we come to cleanse our souls. And so in the church, in Catholic, whatever, Christian, I don't know what it is, but in the Bible we talk about purgatorial domain. You incarnate, you come here to cleanse your soul. And the way in which we cleanse the soul is by looking at the garbage in the ocean and not getting triggered by it and not getting angry about it. It's by looking at it and recognizing the perfection of God that took place throughout the entire fucking universe. All of the things that have occurred through God knows how long, that has unfolded to this garbage pile. Wow. God doesn't fuck up.
And it was put there specifically to trigger you.
Specifically, like you at the restaurant with me.
I can't believe you're getting back to that.
Yeah, sometimes it's not garbage in the ocean. Sometimes your local neighborhood man named Alan Morrison is going to sit in front of you and say some shit that you don't like because motherfucker's embodied, and you're going to have to deal with that.
Because that's my job.
That's his job.
Going back to that again, huh?
Yeah,
So
no, for real though, it's special. We have the opportunity to be such a light that people can be thrown into rage by virtue of our light. People don't agree with it, they don't vibe with it, they get angry for whatever reason. They project upon it. Jesus was killed, Gandhi was killed. Many great sages and avatars who've come into absolute compassion and love and surrender and acceptance, just murdered for it. A lot of people don't like it. So you've dealt with stuff, I know, energies, lower frequencies, vibrations, and it's incredible. We all go through it and experience it, but you truly are, and this is where the definition comes from in the whole spiritual community, a light warrior. And that is why that term exists, because there is darkness in this world. It does exist. It's not that it's not God. It's just that it's a lower vibration energy, and it's further from God, if you will. And what is This is a big thread.
Cut that part. You have to close your eyes now and then something will come.
Yeah, this is where you close your eyes and see if the thread comes back.
You're talking for me.
Ah, yes. These lower vibrational energies that we have the opportunity to stand up against and stand in our truth and be the light and the truth. It is that opportunity that we have, and it is not easy. And that is why Jesus prayed over his disciples and basically said, Lord, I don't ask that you take them out of this world. I ask that you protect them from the darkness that is upon this world. And he's asking for protection because he wants them to have the longest life possible, to spread the light and share the truth and share his teachings from the Father, so that the kingdom of God can be bestowed upon the planet and we can all live in peace.
Happily ever after.
Happily fucking ever after. So I don't know why that came up on the thread of influencing mankind and raising the consciousness. Yeah, it's a whole journey. Sometimes the best way to do it is to just accept that you're going to be crucified and take the cross. That's a fucking cool exit.
Well, mate, in this new movie, I just don't believe we even need to die.
No, I agree. Times have changed.
We, you know, the whole game that was over there about how long you live, and even that was influenced. You know, you said about epigenetics. I studied epigenetics. You know, I got a coaching certificate on that, and it was
No
like,
way.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I never finished it though. I never truly got it.
Doesn't
And
matter. You probably absorbed a lot.
I did the course and understood a lot, and realized just what you said. A lot of when you go to the doctor is reminding you of the family shit, and that influences you also. Every time you go to the doctor, they pull out the file. Oh, I see you've got this in your family, and then so that influences you to even believe that you're probably
dying.
going to get a heart attack because you're grounded.
Wow.
It's nonsense. So we move into this new space of self
Realization.
Mastery.
Mastery.
Just let me speak, brother. Wow. The guy that keeps finishing your sentences that are not even close.
He's come to play the role.
Wow. No, I've gone. No, it's gone. It's gone. I was on a roll. No, you self-doctor. You're your own doctor.
Got it.
You know, your sensors, we go back to it. But, you know, why wouldn't you want to live to your fullest potential? Like potential being another word for voltage.
Right.
In the dictionary.
Level
like
of consciousness.
Potential.
Yeah.
Potentiality. Influence. Yeah, I just want to do it because I want to see what the potential of this vessel is.
Right?
How the fuck can we maybe fly? Or
Yeah.
telepathy's already came online.
Yeah.
But like cool shit like bilocating and
All that jazz.
yeah.
Seides.
Beam me up Scotty stuff, you know. Beam me up Scotty.
Don't know that.
You know,
Don't
Star
know that.
Trek. He was Scotty.
Oh, beam me up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotty
Yo, we
was
gotta
Scotty.
show that on the screen. Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, he was Scottish, of course, wasn't he? He was
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
watch
can't
it.
take it, Captain. There's not enough juice in the dilithium crystals. Yeah,
Wow.
Scotty was a Scottish.
Wow. Star Trek
Engineering.
really advanced mankind's consciousness.
I would believe so.
I would believe so too. So
And
does
Gene-
Star Wars. That's why it's such a big movie. It's why it's one of the biggest movies in the world.
Gene Roddenberry, one of the quotations from Conversations with God, book 3, I think it was, they said that Gene Roddenberry was sitting next to God when he wrote that, you know. God was giving him direction.
Is this Star Trek or
Yeah, Star Trek.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because when you watch it, you can actually feel you know, I think the latest one with the girl that was in it as the captain, I can't remember what it was called. It's the latest one.
Don't know.
Episode 7. Episode 7 was when they went back and there was a guy that put a time loop on the ship, and basically everyone was going through the same thing over and over again, but didn't know.
Whoa,
Right, this is the episode.
that's scary.
They were going through. Some guy came on and just froze time in a 24-hour loop. The only person that remembered was the robot, or whatever, one of the guys that was there.
Whoa,
So he had the job of reminding them
no.
day by day. So, and he had to do it in
I just got
stages.
chills. We
Yeah.
should watch this together.
So it's great. We'll put the episode down.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
I was watching it on a cookie. You know, I was on a weed cookie, you know, a weed brownie. Much better when you watch Star Trek to watch it like that.
Yeah.
But that's what came. So basically, remind me about the mycelium and the latest
Okay.
Star
I
Trek.
will. I'll do my best.
I can't believe we're talking about Star Trek. This is
So good.
So basically, he was reminding them step after step, and it was just, for me, it was the representation of reincarnation. Because basically, everyone didn't, you know, no one remembered yesterday.
Whoa.
So they were constantly going through a loop,
They were constantly being
like
birthed.
this situation of 9 to 5 job, you know.
Oof.
So it was kind of like, and then this guy, or he represented those beings that we all remember together, because with some of us remember before others, so you're giving the rememberings.
Yes.
So he was reminding people to remind others, and it was a chain of
Wow.
reminders that allowed them to catch the guy who had the thing that was looping the.
Oh my
It
God.
was amazing.
And the guy with the thing is the shepherd, the evil shepherd.
Yeah, he's keeping you in a time loop.
Yeah.
He's your boss. he's the boss.
So we like that. We could call that the deep state too.
Yeah. And it was just wonderful episode.
Wow.
And the other thing I was going to say was, it was either in the same series, but it was the Starship Enterprise always had the disc at the front, and then
Yeah.
the latest one, it spun that way when they bilocated through finding a monster in the middle of the space, which could assimilate mycelium network, which is magic mushrooms, right? Or
Okay.
any kind of
You could
mushroom.
assimilate that. What
It
does
could-
assimilate mean again?
So basically, they got this monster. It was a huge, fucking ugly thing. They put it in a cage,
Yeah. Okay.
and basically, it was connected to the mycelium network, which was everything and nothing at the same time. So this monster was able to navigate, just like the double split experiment, become the observer of the universe at any space, time, anywhere,
Okay.
instantly.
Yeah.
So that was their weapon, and it was mycelium network monster that would bilocate them to end, because you know the spaceship was anything that was coming to attack them, they could just
Whoa.
go anywhere.
Got it.
So magic mushrooms runs the Starship Enterprise.
No way.
A shout out to
Oh, that's funny.
a shout out to our brother Bruce, who passed, who was long story,
Who's
but he
Bruce?
Bruce was our magic mushroom guy here, who we used to do incredible journeys with him, and he was a beautiful brother.
Whoa.
He passed a couple of years ago after he met his soulmate. He was in his 70s, met his soulmate, moved to Nicaragua or Honduras, I can't remember, and just had an accident and left the world that way.
Wow. Interesting.
And
exit.
he was in such a great place, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Shout out to him, because we had some amazing journeys together, and wow, he's an amazing brother. he came in. So I had told him about that, and he loved it. He was like, wow. Because he was a Trekkie.
Yeah, a
Plus,
Trekkie.
like,
That's
Magic Mushroom.
oh,
God,
he was
you
out
know what I
there.
mean? He was Papa Smurf. We used to call him Papa.
Oh,
He looked like Papa Smurf. I'll show you a picture. Let's put a picture up.
Yeah, let's do that. Wow,
yeah,
bless his soul.
bless his soul.
You know he's somewhere in the heavens.
So why did we go to Star Trek again?
Don't remember. Talking about
Star Trek's cool, man.
Matrix.
Go watch it. It's great.
I have never seen this.
Oh no,
episode.
we go back to Stevie. I don't even know how we never finished.
Okay.
The Matrix had come out, and we were super into conspiracy stuff, and we were like, he was the same guy.
Yeah.
That we were sitting together going, yeah, this is a fucking playground.
Got it.
We're just fucking around here. And he's a taxi driver, so he's one of the guys that just listens. He's like,
my God.
the hairdresser, the nail person.
Yep. Yeah.
Those are the
The
ones.
listeners.
They're the listeners. They're the ones that are like, they can save people's lives, you know,
Wow.
because they'll really listen, and then they can sense if there's something off.
Yep.
So those beings are very special.
They're little sages.
Yeah, they're very
They're
special.
playing important roles.
And they're planting seeds everywhere.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Wow, that is beautiful.
But where was
Stevie.
Stevie. We turned round. We were on a highway, and we turned round, and it said Neo twice on the bridge behind us, and we were just like,
No.
"What the fuck is that?"
Wow, beautiful.
It was cool. It wasn't one Neo. It was a double
two
Neo.
Neos.
And the movie was just out. So
Wow.
we were just like, that's for us.
That's
us.
for us.
Like, that's
100%.
funny.
Wow, that's a special moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
I love little synchronicities in life like that
Wow,
that are just God speaking to you
so many.
in such an incredible way. It's a foreign language to a lot of people, and maybe we'll just briefly touch on it, but it's the
Mate, for me-
capacity to see something outside of yourself and recognize that it's a message from yourself, from an infinite perspective, to remind you of your divinity. It's such a beautiful moment. It's like,
and it's not like
Wow.
it's not like an abracadabra moment where
No.
you've just done that, because
no,
then it's no fun.
yeah,
It's cryptic. It's there. It's,
right before your eyes.
mate, it's Hansel. I see it as Hansel and Gretel.
Okay, remind me about Hansel.
Hansel and Gretel was when the little girl was going into the forest
Yes,
and she was dropping sweets
yes.
so that they could find their way back.
Oh,
Find their way back to God.
wow.
So find a way out the forest again. And these little tickets, these little, inklings, they're the clues. But it's up to us if we want to see them. And then once we see them, do we want to open the envelope or
Yes.
go down? Go down.
Yes.
So the clues are there, but once you see them, you still don't know. There's many people that are holding on to their clues till the last minute, until their deathbed, because they just don't want to go there.
Yes.
In ayahuasca, that's something that ayahuasca does. It will show you those things so you die in essence in this lifetime while you still have your physical health
Yes.
in this body. So you get to see where you're avoiding or not.
Beyond the veil that has been keeping you suppressed.
Yeah, but also, like, you see what you knew you had. Like, there's many times you go and do ayahuasca and you know what you're going to get because you're fucking around and you've been avoiding it for so
Yeah,
long.
there's also that scenario.
So that's the people that I love to work with when
Oh, I love that.
there's some excuse that they've been holding on to, or a story or a piece of the puzzle that they don't really want to put in the jigsaw.
Yeah.
Because then the jigsaw is complete. And then they don't really know what happens then. A lot of people want to stay incomplete because that's their identity. That's who they are.
Yeah.
They're this incomplete jigsaw.
Yeah.
But they've got the piece.
Yes, they do have the
They
piece.
just don't want to put it in.
Yeah.
So I like to show them the piece and fucking put it in.
Yeah.
And then they go,
Whoa.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then take it back out again. And then if they want, they can go and get it. Now it's easier to get it because they know it
Yeah.
exists. They've seen that when they put it in, it doesn't the world doesn't end, it fucking doesn't explode.
Yeah.
Or their identity is even better than it was.
Yes.
They're much more fun or whatever.
They recognized that the mask that they were holding sucked.
Yeah.
And by surrendering it, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
So that process, just to, because I'm saying,
I love that.
Customers or clients or people that are coming into my reality we're reminding each other that we get to be full. We get to be fully ourselves. And we get to remember that we're children again.
Yeah.
And that we get to remember that as a child, we didn't care.
We're here to
anything.
play.
We're here to play.
We're here to play.
So,
not suffer.
yeah, so the suffering is that old world.
Yes.
So it's about showing the new world exists. So the light therapy is it's like a hypnagogic.
It's incredible.
It's a hypnagogic light.
It'd be cool if we could show an image of it.
We could
a
probably
video
stick
on the
in a
screen
video.
just so people can feel it.
And it's enhanced with, it's incredible alone.
It is incredible. I've only done it alone, and it blew my mind. It is a psychedelic experience on its own.
On its own. Yeah, and then you could mix it with.
Psychedelic.
You could.
And that is even more potent, I would imagine, which I've never experienced.
I would imagine also.
Yeah. With certainty.
So, yeah, and realizing that the person that's in front of you that's doing that thing is exactly there at the right time to do the experience at that exact moment with exactly the person that's in front of them.
Yeah.
And that allows just more clarity, more capacity, more.
Yeah.
What I'm learning now is that as an intuitive coach, you want to give everything right away.
Yeah. Start with the end.
Yeah. Yeah, but in chunks that
Of course.
enough for the person to receive. But
Of course.
But also spinning back to where you said that you feel in my field that I want to accelerate the process. I do. I feel that it's
just a natural part of your essence.
Yeah.
It happens naturally. I don't even see you as trying or wanting to do it. I just know that when I think of Alan and he comes up in my mind, or if I'm speaking to somebody, I naturally just say, that man is naturally just a bridge to help people move into higher states of consciousness. And it's like, does he do that? What do you mean? It's just his essence.
and what? Thank you for that.
Yeah.
First of all, but also when you, it's about stepping into that also.
The teacher-student thing that you told me is so powerful.
So that's
it's
what,
so
I'm
powerful.
actually in it. That's why it's
Yeah.
powerful, because I'm experiencing this. I'm so comfortable. I'm so happy with my life.
Yeah.
But I know there's so much more. There's so much more, and it's not about me. It's never been about me. And these are the things that I tell the people that come to me. It's never been about you. You're the train driver now. It's about you taking responsibility, because the people that come to me are masters. They are extremely powerful beings.
Wow.
That I have been holding the last jigsaw piece, that are ready
Yeah.
to put it in,
Yeah.
or to see what a full jigsaw would look like.
Yeah.
And then they get that, and their life is flipped, or their life is, they just remember this part,
Yeah.
because it's now, as it's complete, the infinity symbol is, it's like they turn around and they see the potential of themselves,
Right. Yeah.
which they don't even fucking know
They go
what
from
that is yet.
limited and suppressed to infinite. Oh my God.
But they're already they're not even suppressed. They're
Oh, for yours. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the
I'm talking
people-
about a different class of consciousness.
so
Yeah.
that is, they don't know who the fuck they want to be. They don't know what they want to do. But now there's an opportunity to see that they have the capacity, the space.
Yeah.
There's something more.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something more.
And they feel comfortable now to take the courageous step of crossing the river.
Yeah, because they're there.
Yeah.
But also sometimes I'm You know, there was a 74-year-old woman the other day who had never done anything.
I met her,
like
beautiful
that.
being.
Yeah. So she just blasted off and didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Ooh.
it's energetically
Yeah.
draining, you know,
Yes.
sometimes. So that my capacity has to be good also.
Yeah.
We all have to be maintaining ourselves at the highest expansion and able to receive the fullest potential by, you know, grounding and breath work and doing all the things, the fasting and the cleaning and the
all of it.
Exercise and the yoga and the stretching and the good sleep.
80 to 90% of my life is just, I'm eating good foods, I'm moving my body, I'm getting good sleep, I'm taking care of my body to make sure it's clean and that it's healthy. I am going into nature, spending time, relaxing. Maybe not 80%, but a large chunk, more than 50%, is just that basic, regular, everyday human experience stuff.
Which is what we're supposed to do.
If done properly, opens up this incredible capacity to create that is so beyond your wildest dreams. And I feel that strongly in what you're saying. And I relate to it in the sense that, you know, with Satori, I can't do a podcast every day. It'll kill me. It's energetically draining. It's like a certain sense. It's kind of like a ceremony. We create a space. It takes an hour and a half to like prep the space. It's a whole 2 to 3 hours. We sit down and we talk about the infinite from our highest perspective and awareness. And you're so...
Which is so low.
May that be true. Yeah. Yes. Also, though, it's ridiculously high relative to the average human. And that is a fact. When you calibrate the average consciousness of mankind and you look at where we sit on the scale, that is a fact.
I have no idea.
80% of mankind calibrates below 200 on the scale of consciousness. So billions of people are in a primal reptilian-like state where they are in fight or flight every day, waking up, fight or flight response. I need to make money. I need to da. Almost nobody gets to wake up with the freedom and sovereignty that you and I do. We came here to do this. It is extraordinarily rare. Extraordinarily rare. You just go walk down the street. You see it. How many beings are there that are just radiating with so much fucking energy because they can go do yoga, animal flow, or wake up and do whatever and just they're out there beaming. The
priority is wellness here for sure. I mean, everything you're saying about calibration of humanity, and it's all. I
forgot what was going on that thread.
I don't know.
It got deep.
I was going along the lines of, I don't even remember now either.
Oh, and Satori and energy and making sure that I have the capacity to be here and be in a present state where I can show up and speak with clarity, because there's been moments where I do a podcast and I'm drained and I just realize, oh, this was not the right decision. I don't even want to do this. And then, so yeah, feeling into the heart, because when you said it's draining after, you know, working with that client, because you're holding space, you're giving your energy into something. The stuff that recharges our beingness is this nature and the eating good foods and the animal flow and the yoga. I've only now started recognizing how important it is for me to be able to create at the capacity that I'm creating right now, and especially in the last 2 to 3 months, especially in the last week and a half since Claudia left. I have to do an ice bath. I have to work out. I have to do some yoga and stretch and move my body throughout the vast majority of the day, because these are the things that amplify my capacity to create. And if I don't do them, I feel the constriction and I feel the body starts aching. And it's
a full-time movement job.
It's also a lot of work to
for sure,
to do it, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
But so, you know, that's where I'm at right now, where it's kind of like, wow, becoming a teacher for more, becoming a leader. Leader. It's the same.
Yes.
But we all are leaders. This is the thing. We are all remembering that it's not about us, that we're here to serve others.
Yeah.
We're here to serve others as others are ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're just, I want to get the fuck out of my way. You know, when I'm in a session with a client, my goal and objective is to not be there.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that is profound.
And it's just, you know, I'm just speaking. You know, when I'm speaking to the person, I'm not there.
Yeah.
They're getting exactly what they need to hear. And then they ask me, if they ask me what to say again, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how do you coach someone across Zoom with that? And then know when the person has had the capacity is full enough, which is called bread of shame, when you over deliver your energy to someone, when you know that they're not able to receive it, and you keep giving, which probably I did to you back in the Kaleos experience.
Possibly.
Because I was just
and I was unable to
delivering. You had not. You didn't have the capacity
to speak.
I didn't have the discernment or understanding.
Whatever it was, yeah.
So learning all of that also, and then now being, okay, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to do more of this? I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything at all or everything, or, you know, I think many people in Vanu especially also are, I think in the whole world right now are like, okay, maybe, and I've seen this, but I don't know how it works. I don't know where I fit in. I'm still thinking that I need to do something. And there's nothing perhaps to do except just be you. And that is a huge thing for, I think, where we're at in humanity's, you know, transition phase.
Coming into beingness.
Going into, and you know, lots of people escape, you know, the ayahuasca and the, we disappear from.
It's a fine
We
line.
leave the body. We leave the body.
Yeah.
But it's all about being in the body now. We know that we've talked this. It's about, we came here to experience it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So experience it all as authentically as possible.
Yeah.
Through being vulnerable, humble.
Yeah.
Can I?
Don't be afraid of crying or getting angry or whatever. Let the emotion come through.
Yeah, that going back to the thing with it in the bar with it.
Yeah.
I was standing
ready to fight.
You're ready to fight, but that's kind of what you're saying. You just have to. For me to change that, I had to just fucking let go and go. I'm safe.
Yeah.
No, the fight's not going to kick off.
Yeah.
There is no fight.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be in a bar in Scotland. What team do you support? Rangers or Celtic? Catholic or Protestant? Or Protestant was Rangers and Celtic was Catholic. So that was
people fighting over God in soccer.
Well, that was
incredible.
But that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
It's just everyone, you know. And I got to the stage. I was like, number one, I don't like football. I really don't. I've never liked it. My father didn't like it. I don't like it. So for me, I was like, none. And it was like a fucking. Yeah. But I was really asking, are you a Catholic or a Protestant? Well, why don't you fucking ask me that then? Mm-hmm. And that was what was going on. Inauthentic confusion around conversation, and I've grown up with that, and it's kind of like navigating what's real, what is fucking real.
Yeah.
And then you come to Vanu, and everyone's as authentic as they can be.
Yes.
And we're learning to remember or show
more,
each other when we're not.
Yeah. And show each other where we're not being authentic.
And it's
where we're hiding.
We're all inside a diamond with our own perspective of that. And each of us has exactly the same power. Everyone in the world. Yeah. The 200 frequencies, they all have the same potential. We all have the same energy, potential. Yeah. And everyone's doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Yeah. That's why there's no judgment in it. There's no, they're better or worse or sadder or happier. Yeah. Everyone is going through exactly what they're supposed to go through. Mm. And it's all part of you. Yeah. Expressing yourself through every experience that could be forevermore. Yes. And wow. and it doesn't even exist. It's all just a fucking made up story.
What is?
Everything.
In what sense?
Everything that we're saying, that all these beings that exist, we're only getting data through information, through television or cell phones. If all cell phone towers were down, all communication went off, you couldn't fly anymore. What then? What's next? Who's calibrating who? Who cares? What are we doing now?
Are you just talking about like
Let's
stepping
build,
into being?
let's build a fire. Let's build a fire.
Build a fire and hang out. Yeah.
So I'm open to the technological spaceships and fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
Having 100% health.
Yeah.
Having like the movie Lucy. Fuck, imagine
Cool
we
movie.
get the brain coming into
Yeah.
50% capacity.
Yeah, that was a cool
What the
movie.
fuck that means. But
Yeah.
wow, new things coming online. Get to move objects and with our minds or whatever.
Yeah.
But fucking wow. Or we just go back to sitting around the campfire, and sing songs, which came up for me most times I did ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Because we go back, we
Yeah.
always go
That's-
back to the
that's
fire, the
that's-
Ramdas
That's the
classic.
dream for me. Is
We
to
go
just
back to the
sing.
fire.
Yeah.
So I'm really open to everything. And also that.
Yeah.
And wow,
I'm
basic needs. Shelter, warmth.
I think I'm most excited for the fire, for sure. The tech is so cool, but the most exciting aspect of it is deep human connection in a raw human way.
And with your true family that you've always...
Yeah. And we don't need a fucking chip in our brains to connect to each other. We're just around a fire.
We didn't need a phone either.
So tapped
We
in.
didn't need a phone either, but look where we're at. We can't do without it, right?
Well, we could. We'd be fine.
Of course we could.
We'd be fine.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I would love to see it again, just reset.
It'd be cool.
My mother used to call me from half a mile away. Alan, your dinner's ready.
Yeah, my mom used
And
to
I
do
would
that
hear
too.
it. I would hear it
Yeah.
from half a mile away.
Wow.
And I survived. And now you've got somebody next lane of the supermarket
Yeah.
calling you.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Yeah.
I'm just in the next
Oh my God,
lane.
now mankind is so concerned. There's a whole field of consciousness of beings that are so overly controlling that they freak out if their partner hasn't read their message within
Well, that's-
60 minutes. And that's the anxiety that comes from being so connected to everyone and not knowing how to manage that connectivity that you have access to through technology, because technology doesn't support it. I mean, Instagram and Facebook and all of these companies and platforms, the social media platforms especially, they want to keep you on there as long as possible, and they program you to like short-term gratification. It's the
course.
infinite
It's a
scroll,
dopamine.
the
It's a
infinite
dopamine.
feed. They know it's like a slot machine. The next post is going to give you a little bit of dopamine, whether it's a post about this president or that president or this person in your life or that person. And we are not used to that. This is a very new thing. And so I think that, the connectivity aspect is a primal example of how potently technology has impacted mankind already in the last 10 to 15 years through social media. It's a very new thing. And we're already seeing anxiety through the roof on just teenagers and kids with cell phones because they're in it all the time.
And that's why I would love to see a reset.
Yeah.
And, there's talks of that potentially
Have you heard of
happening.
the solar flash
Of course,
hypothesis?
of course.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
But
I
whether
love that.
but whether that happens or not, it shouldn't really become an excuse, And I think a lot of people are using it as an excuse, that they think there's going to be the savior.
Oh, like people that love that timeline and they talk about it all the time, like,
Yeah.
oh, the solar flash,
The solar flash
is
is coming,
It's
so-
going to turn off all the technology, and then we'll be an enlightened 5D species.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And
like, yes, that could happen, but like, it can happen right now.
Yeah, it can happen right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that may or may not happen. And
You might as well do the work in the meantime.
I would love it to happen. I would love us
be super
to
cool.
have that high speed awakening.
That'd be super cool.
And I've seen it happen. But as I say, the best I believe potentially that the cell phones, we're in the age of Aquarius, which is air. It's an element of air.
Okay. Don't know much about
we're in
the
the
science.
age of Pisces before, which is water.
Okay.
So as you know, Dr. Emoto, you can influence water. So they use that. Pyramids that used to be the consciousness delivery system for the world.
Not familiar with this.
Well, that's something to
Okay.
research.
Yeah.
So now we've moved to a higher velocity of frequencies in the air. I'm sure every frequency can go through water. Maybe not. Maybe the higher frequencies have to go through the air because it's less dense.
Possibly.
So now we're all being influenced genetically because your DNA is an antenna. They've now scientifically recently said that also.
That's a cool. Wow, I feel that a little bit. I'd love to read more about
Our
that.
DNA is a antenna, so we're constantly receiving with what our environment is.
I do know that every single human being has a unique vibrational signature to them, and that could be what is being referenced. That has been verified through, maybe not classical research, but Corey Good and Wilcock and many other beings spoke of this, because if you can just get, there's like a machine you can use to read the vibration of the being. That's the frequency it emits from that being, and you can just tune to it and know exactly where it is.
Well, that's what I think and believe that your phone's already doing. Your phone is influencing you because you carry it next to your body.
Sure.
And there's way more tech in there that we've been led to even understand. We're carrying a diagnosis machine with us already. The fucking technology in that thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're doing behind the scenes. But the point could be that this is part of the matrix. It's part of the game. It's the fucking 5G's coming online and everyone's getting a new connection. There's an overlay happening. The next guitar string needs to be overlaid.
Yeah.
Whether it's Elon Musk's satellites or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You remember, did you ever see that when they did all that? We were watching it from Panama, all these fucking...
Oh, the rockets?
Yeah.
I think I saw
I don't think it was rockets. I don't know what the fuck it was. I believe we've got this technology. We've had it forever. But they had to do something that we had to see. And they had to use something.
It's an incredible sight. I did see one of the rockets go off, and whether it is a rocket or not, I don't know, but it looks absolutely incredible. It blows my mind.
I really hope that we get to see in this lifetime.
Yeah.
The moon landing. The behind the moon. What is the moon?
Yeah.
What are we in?
Yeah.
Is the earth flat?
All that jazz.
All of that stuff.
Solve all the conspiracies and give us a table of truth.
Give us the truth.
Give us the table of truth so that we can just read through it. Oh, wow, this is so fascinating. Galactic news, you know?
Just give us a spaceship that we can all... Yeah. You know that they've never fucking launched anyone into space yet. It's been going on for 6 or 7 years and nobody seems to fucking notice.
What? Nobody's launched into space?
Branson, the Galactic and Musk.
Yeah.
They've not fucking launched anyone into space yet.
Wait, that's fucking crazy. I never thought about that.
No, exactly.
They're launching all this satellite,
they
but
keep saying
they haven't
next
said that
year.
People have gone up.
No, they keep saying next year.
They're going to do it next year.
Next year.
I wonder why they're delaying.
I don't think you can fucking go anywhere. I don't think you can go anywhere.
What
you
do
just
you
go
mean?
bink, bink, hit off the... I don't know if we want to go there.
You talking about the Truman Show where there's like a thing? And
well, who knows, bro? Who knows? I want to go... Just let's get a rocket and go and see.
Somebody put us up there.
Exactly.
I wouldn't sign up, to be honest. If there was ships going off and you could sign up for $500 or something.
Come on.
I would be...
$500, you think it's...
Yeah, I don't know. $500 go to the moon or something, you know.
Mate, if it was $500, everyone would be going,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would let 100,000 buses go before I take my bus. And I would probably... if you could venture out.
I'll go right, and then I'll phone you from there.
But this is
pretty cool. You can come next.
This is a really good question. If you could venture out anywhere into the universe, let's say you could go to a whole different galaxy, and there is life forms there, whatever.
Maybe we're
Are
doing
you
it
really going to do it? No, hold on.
Maybe
If I
we're
give you
doing
the
it already.
technology to do it, I think we are. I fully agree that we are. If you have the technology and the capacity to do it, it's $500 to buy this. You have that money. You buy it. Are you going to do it? Are you going to go to another galaxy?
Of course.
Wow, you would, wouldn't you?
Of course, bro. Are you
Okay.
fucking joking?
I probably, it would take a lot of family and friends doing it for me to just be like, okay, I'll just do it at once, like just for fun, because I really am enjoying the simple human experience.
Yeah, me
that
too.
Is only planet Earth. I just feel like it would be so complicated if, hey, listen, here's a teleportation device. Select anywhere in the universe you want to go.
Just like the
Infinite possibilities.
What's it?
Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
It would be incredible cartoon. Wow, bless their soul for making that series. We have an episode from that we should watch. It's really incredible.
I watched it the other night.
Did you?
We
The one?
Yeah.
Knights Templar?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the exact one that you said.
Oh,
But it's
then
not.
that one's super cool.
Yeah, Knights Templar.
Yeah.
That's another
That's
story.
a whole other
That's a whole other.
thread. Yeah, wow.
Where are we going now?
I don't know. I was just saying, would you really do it? You said yes, so I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, because it's the Star Trek side.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
As long as I can come back and sit around the campfire.
See, if you could guarantee I could come back and sit around the campfire, and I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah.
No, but I think you're thinking once you go there, you don't want to come back.
No,
But I think we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and
Yeah.
we get to, we never die. Like that's
that's the beautiful thing.
very fucking clear.
Can't die.
And I think that if we can give humanity that's the whole point, right? Once you fear death, you're fearing many things.
Yes.
Because you think you're going to fall off a ladder, or you're fucking not getting in a plane, or you're
Yeah.
going to be in a
All
car
fears
crash.
lead to death.
Yeah.
It's the ball of urine. It's the ultimate
So,
source.
Like, let's just teach everyone that you don't die. So
You don't die.
So you switch up the power,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
give them the glimpse of this.
Bro, that's the big power upgrade.
But then the integration of that is too long. So what's going to happen right now in the world with regards to the people that are morbidly obese and diabetic and doing the lifestyle that's really killing them, and that they've just far gone?
Yeah.
So what happens then? Because the system is going to collapse.
Well, I think they die and then they just reincarnate.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier. The soul contract is ended, and then they become
Yeah.
an unconditionally loving baby for this one.
Amen.
So,
Yeah.
and they don't have any trauma because they're not in the game anymore. They've come into the new game.
Yeah.
This is just, of course, a concept. But
Right,
for
right,
me,
right.
it's very
fascinating.
real.
It is. No, I know. And if
But there's
if you were a
some of the
doctor-
beings here, some of the babies here are that already. There's 4 sets of twins in this village, right?
yeah, it's
five
incredible. Maybe
sets of
five.
twins.
I think I've heard at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, and they're upgraded.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine growing up in Vanau.
The kids that grew up here or I'm watching grow up here are, wow. I wouldn't do these things when I
I'm
was that
excited
age.
to have kids and watch that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good
It's a cool movie, man. You get to watch your kid
My daughter may be coming here. It's
grow
gonna be
up.
exciting.
I want to do a podcast with her and all her friends.
Yeah,
It'd
let's
be
do
so
that.
fun.
Wow, that
I've
would be
literally had that vision a million times.
wow. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, bro. Yeah, because that's the next gen. The next gen.
It is the next gen. And it's beautiful to capture them while they're young so they have something to go back to and laugh at. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Wow,
This
I can't
is
believe I
incredible.
was a fucking kid. Look at me as a kid. Like, I'm this close to doing an episode with Harmony or Poppy, just one-on-one, because I know that they can sit and speak in front of a microphone. It was so crazy. I had the microphone out and Poppy came in. It was just one microphone like this. And she immediately goes behind it and starts singing.
Wow. Beautiful.
Immediately, bro. She's probably never seen a microphone like this, probably in movies and stuff that she's watched. But it was like, wow, okay, so we'll do this. We'll sit down. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's only for 5-10 minutes, whatever.
Amazing. And just even the people that are in their 20s here, the beings,
Yeah.
they're all hiding behind jobs that are this world, but they're all advanced
Yes.
for this one.
It's incredible.
They're
It's
ready.
incredible.
So many girls and boys here that
'Cause
have the capacity to just look at someone and know what chakra's blocked.
It's
for example.
incredible.
And I'm like, yeah.
And yet they're just like working at a cafe, or they're just literally working at like a restaurant, and they're a waiter.
Serving coffee or doing nails.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That generation is so advanced.
And they don't.
So advanced.
They don't have to go through, because they're swipe culture, they're expecting more faster. And they get it.
And they get it.
Because
they want it.
Because
they expect it.
Yeah. And because the internet gives it to them. So
absolutely.
You know, when I'm working with people of that age, just through conversation, not necessarily working, just having conversation,
natural.
I'm mentioning something.
Yeah.
And it's integrating Lightspeed the next day. Something that would have taken
20 years.
Maybe 5 years. Is maybe a week.
Yeah.
And they're already implementing.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's a confirmation.
Yeah.
But, yep, thank you. Bump,
yeah.
Bump,
it's like they have a strong antenna.
Wow.
They're receiving.
Wow. But also losing somewhat of the hard work aspects.
Yeah.
And yes, that's the next generation are making millions on Instagram by cutting and pasting something. So it's kind of like
ridiculous, whatever it is.
And it's okay, because
it's incredible.
When you look at it that way, then we don't need to be slaves anymore.
Yeah.
Or we can have everything that we want.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we have that? It's been taken from us, and we've...
Right.
That's what it is. We're now in a space where we can expand into, what do you want? Would you mean I can have it? Yes. Okay, go. Boom. Write it down. Believe it to be true.
Bro, you and I right now are talking about the creator role that is being embodied through this generation, becoming the creator. And it's so incredible that in
accepting 100% responsibility.
In mankind right now, yes, that. And in mankind right now, there is a whole industry centered around what is called the creator economy. And what's so special about the creator economy is that it is beings that are creating, whether that be art through music or painting or dance or just simply farming, and they're whatever, and they're sharing what they're doing, what they're creating through the social media platforms of Twitter or Instagram or YouTube. They are becoming the teachers
by doing
and sharing what they're doing. And now there is this thing called the creator economy. And so there's multi-billion dollar softwares right now that are in place to support the creator economy. One of many of them, but one of them, and I'm forgetting the name, but it's a platform that allows creators to just receive money from people that love their work. It's a simple thing. It's not like a Stripe, but you would know the name if I said it, and I'll put it in the video editing so people can see what it is. But it's essentially just a way to receive money. So I can put a link in my Instagram bio that says, hey, if you like my art, please support me. Donate. Mm-hmm. You
can do it on YouTube.
Incredible. And YouTube is just releasing features now that support the creators so that they can make a full salary off of just doing what they're doing, because YouTube recognizes that their platform is built around creators and observers. So teachers and students. And they want to support both. So they want to serve the best content possible from the best teachers, creators, to the proper audience of observers, students. And what's so incredible is now they released this feature where if you want to have like a premium follower on your YouTube channel, you can charge $2.99 a month, or you set the rates, it's whatever you want it to be. And they become like this kind of VIP student member who gets access to maybe like a podcast a week before it comes out. You get to choose the benefits. Like there's a really good DJ called Mose who does this, and he gives the people access to his sets that he produces a month before they actually come out. it's something simple. It doesn't matter what it is, but the point is that you're trying to say, hey, this is what I'm doing full time. I'm not getting paid to do this unless you as the student find enough value to support me as the teacher to where you give from your heart, because you don't have to, because it's free to receive what I'm doing because it's a gift from your heart. And that's what the essence of Satori is a creator. It's built around the creator economy in the sense that if you like this, sweet, donate, because you know that there's a lot of money and energy going into it and I'm not getting paid to do it. And that's like what I think is so incredible now, is that there's so many teenagers that are understanding this and stepping into this.
And it's the way to manifest also. You're not thinking about yourself, you're thinking about others. You're
helping, you're doing selfless service.
You're becoming a giver immediately.
Exactly.
You're just giving. And that's, it's been in all the books, but we've been so confused with, you've not seen it, we've not the time or whatever, but now you can actually just realize that the success comes from the giving.
Yes.
When you're focused on the giving from the beginning, you win. Everyone wins.
Everyone wins.
So it's just beautiful to see the technology working in that way that you're saying.
It's so special.
And how fast it is. And also, it's just like, if I look back to when when I was that age, I had 4 TV channels. Wow. 1, 2, 3. And the 4th one came in, and it was super exciting that everyone loved Channel 4. This was in the UK.
That's crazy.
But now, if you compare with America, they had hundreds already. But now you've got millions of channels. And that is just, the significance of that is just the acceleration that we're talking about. So everyone is finding exactly what they love to do.
Yes.
Through just searching for it, and it
creators coming through the platforms.
If I wanted to watch a cartoon when I was young, it would be fucking on the TV, and only if my gran or my grandpa or my mum didn't want to watch something else
at the right time.
Yeah,
you couldn't just have access to it any time. You had to show up.
So now you can just binge watch anything documentary.
Anytime.
You can learn, and it's about asking yourself the question about, what am I interested in, and what would I do if I had $1 million in the bank?
What would I do if I had $1 million in the bank? That's a potent question.
And then just doing that.
And then just doing that.
And then the money will come.
Amen.
That's it. The perfect manifestation.
That is all you need if you don't know what you want to do in this life.
But there's just so much bullshit around mortgages and confusion, and you need to do this, and it's about you, and you need to be the best.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the information is like disinformation in the sense that it's just terrible programming. But I love what you're talking about. And my good friend James from Portugal, who I did an episode with, he said, Taylor, I see the social media network as the mycelium network.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's the mycelium network.
And it's so easy to demonize it. And so many people demonize it, especially people that are spiritual. And it's very easy to see it through the lens of, this thing is terrible. And it's also easy to see it through the lens of, oh, this is a double-edged sword. It could be bad, but look at how incredible it is also. And when you weigh it out, guess what? The incredible nature of it actually weighs a lot higher, because there's so many more souls that are awakening, because there's not just 4 fucking channels anymore. Mm-hmm. There's millions. And now when a person of light taps into a person who maybe hasn't realized their own divinity and says something, like you say like one phrase to somebody naturally or something, they can integrate it so much faster, because it can come into their life so much faster through the millions of other channels that they have access to that can just manifest through.
Yes, we can just...
and the phone is listening. The phone hears everything. So if you're having a conversation that's super deep and spiritual with someone that maybe isn't so spiritual and hasn't realized their own infinity, by nature of you having that conversation, you're influencing their algorithm on Instagram by just literally being in the field. It's the most incredible thing ever.
It's crazy.
But
it's all built upon God, because it's all you reminding yourself through multiple mediums and experiences and situations and events and people to remember the way back home.
Yeah.
Which is the feeling of peace.
Yeah.
And joy and happiness and love and
me.
meow.
Oh.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Here we are. And
yeah, brother. 333 on the clock.
Super grateful to be here.
Me too, man. Why don't we do a little prayer with some tunes in the background and close this out? That was a perfect. The way you just said what you just said about peace and love and all that felt like the perfect Satori ending. Just So let me put on some music and then we'll pray and then we'll close the spaceship. Let's see. This is 963 pineal gland activation frequency.
This is another wonderful thing that's out there.
Yeah.
All of these frequencies are just in mainstream now.
Bro, I purchased some that I really like.
Yeah.
You're feeling it right now. I just learned about the significance of 963 frequency and how that is your crown chakra's frequency.
But they're all there. 888 is abundance.
Yeah, I think.
They're all there. So we get to just tune into these frequencies that give us an upgrade. So that's what's happening now with all the legalization of the psychedelics also.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing.
Also.
Oh, wow. My dad doesn't like that. Yeah, I feel like when I talk to him about it, he's like, "Oh, Canada's legalizing weed."
Yeah, there's so many people against it because it's the ego or it's the entity that's attached to the person.
Yeah.
That
doesn't want to lose control, and drugs are a loss of control.
And as soon as
don't lose yourself.
As soon as you take that drug, it's going to show. It's not a drug. Let's not call them
medicine.
Drugs. And as soon as we take that medicine, it shows you what you don't want to see, and the ego then loses its job.
Yes.
So I know specifically what medicine people need based upon what they fear.
Wow, that's special, dude. Really? You have that awareness?
Yeah, but it's true. People are scared of one. So people are like, "Oh, ayahuasca sounds good, but mushrooms, no." It's like, what do you mean? Why not? Weed is terrible, but no, I can do mushrooms. What? Just let's do whatever you feel. Like that's whatever you fear. Yeah, let's take that.
Yeah,
let's go there.
In a proper setting,
for sure. Let's go there.
That's a super cool language that you can speak that I don't have. When you said that, I thought, wow, because I don't see through. I haven't been able to see through that lens of meeting somebody and recognizing, based on this would benefit you. Yeah. I think that's the role of a really good shaman. Is somebody who can identify where somebody's at.
I would never put myself in that space.
Work with someone with the medicine.
It's just the frequencies. It's like you can just, because you've navigated it for so long. And you've understood, and you've done all the work on your own.
Yeah.
And you're connected, and then when you're connected, you see where there's disharmony in the other, and you've already done that work, so you can super accelerate that process. And that's what I said earlier. The only the person that would come that needs that energy flipped.
Yeah.
Well, there's a part that your body isn't remembering that it's a creator. There's a little victim somewhere in your vessel. There it is. Yeah. You know, that is what a shaman does.
Yeah.
You just poke. Yeah. But the shaman doesn't do anything.
Right.
It will allow the person to see the part. Well, the shaman does. The shaman pushes.
They're the divine reflection and that stands in front of you. And
it's funny when the shaman walks past you. Everyone just, there's a line of people lying down in an ayahuasca, and the shaman walks past, and everyone just goes. It's like the energy is just. The shaman is tuned into the field. I think the shaman sees the matrix, right? Yeah. Just like Neo sees.
Yeah.
He sees everything.
Starts flicking out the shit.
Flicking
People
out
start
the
throwing
shit.
up.
Yeah. Fucking cool, mate.
But I was saying that because I feel how you have this shamanic like lens in which you can see somebody's stuff and be able to tell them,
Remind them.
and remind them of this aspect of self that has been forgotten, that is preventing them from being in greater levels of peace. That's so beautiful, and it's so profound. And I do have that lens.
I think everyone has it.
But not so much with the medicines, because I don't know too much about them. I've experienced them, but some people really know them, and they understand them, and they know what it does, and has an energy to it. That's a cool thing that some humans get to be.
And that's what's accelerating humanity's process right now also.
Yeah.
Because the shaman are going out there. They're out there. It's like they've all been awakened.
Yeah.
To go out and remind people at a larger extent.
There's a lot of shamans in Vanau.
There's a lot of shamans.
There's a lot.
And DJs.
And
And yoga teachers.
Yoga teachers and yogis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know any shaman. There's a couple of shaman over there.
I was more so referencing friends that we know of that we're all just
shamanizing each other.
Shamanizing each other. I'm going to switch this out for Miracle. I like that, but wait. This one feels right for me. Okay. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you made it this far, wowzers. There was a lot of words exchanged here on this spaceship. And we pray that there was some peace that came through for you in listening to these words. And we give thanks to the O Lord, Source, Divinity, God, Creator of heaven and earth, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, all the other sages, Papaji, Wu Sin, Ramana Maharshi, Neem Karoli Baba, and many others for raising the ocean of consciousness and for allowing all of the other souls to remember deeper and come home to the true self, the uppercase S self, and surrender that primal reptilian-like ego that gets in the way of all that peace. And I want to thank you for coming and sharing all of your wisdom. And me and you have this incredible contract that we know thanks to Carrie that we probably could have felt if we would have just thought about it a little bit deeper. It's so obvious. Carrie points it out. I'm like, oh my God, of course. And me and you have this learning contract with each other. And I've learned so much from you. And it's so incredible
Likewise, bro.
to come to this place of, holy shit, I've learned so much. Thank God someone told me the Wi-Fi speed did not need to be 1,000 megabytes per second. And thank God that this dude sits in front of me now and shares all these incredible high truths about God and the universe and how it all works.
Incredible nonsense.
Yeah, incredible stuff that is...
Let's not let my mum hear this. She'll think we're crazy.
Yeah.
She'll till eternity.
I pray my mom and dad watch this.
My mum will always think I'm crazy.
Oh.
It's always going to be that way. It's forever.
Oh.
I think it's a contract.
Me.
It's wonderful. I'm so happy that she thinks I'm crazy because, fuck, I wouldn't be anything else but crazy. Thank God I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
God.
The courageous souls.
Thank God we're all crazy.
That really get called crazy. And, it's the guy wearing the weird baggy pants with the Om symbol on it. And he's really just a peaceful man. You can label him a hippie, but he's just a peaceful man, Just wants y'all to have some peace in your life.
He makes great pancakes, by the way.
Oh, yeah, do a pancake day. Ah, man, I wanted to say to you also that I have seen such an incredible physical transformation in you. It's been so special. The clothes that you're wearing right now look so good on you. So good. When I saw you walking up to the house, I was like, wow, Alan has transformed. For context, the Alan that I've known for the vast majority of my time in Vinal has been in disguise. He's been walking around with like an MDS shirt on. And
Don't tell him.
and now
MDS.
he has revealed his true colors. It's really special to see, man. I'm really like, wow, dude. It looks like more of your soul is shining through your physical vessel. And it's so felt, dude. It's really special.
I've been reversing.
You have been.
I've been reversing my age since I was 40. I decided to not get older.
That too. You look extraordinarily young. How old are you? 53?
52.
52. Wow.
But I really believe that we're moving forward into this era where we are going to choose what age we're going to be.
I believe that too.
And we're going to just stay here as long as we want to.
Yeah. So long as you want to have this fucking body.
As long as you want to be experienced. It's the experience also.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity, brother.
It's
Great to have you as a neighbour.
Yeah, good to have you as a neighbour too.
I'm excited to see what comes of everything that we do.
Oh,
together and separately.
I know that we're going to be friends for life.
This life, anyway. Or everyone.
I think we've done this a few times
for
at
sure
least.
We've done this. For sure.
It's so
normal.
Familiar. Family.
Yes.
You know, it just feels like a brothership.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
We should
it's
choose
funny.
a subject the next time because we went everywhere.
We did, and I love that.
Just choose a subject next time. We'll just go into that. Like,
bro,
laser.
I would be down for that. You tell me. Yeah. Wait, I had something come through. Oh, it was that, maybe I have this funny thing where maybe, and I genuinely feel it. Before I incarnated, I was looking down at Earth and I thought, wow, so many homies right now. It looks so good. Yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Alan. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go chill with Claudia. I'm going to go and chill in Finale with all of these incredible
sunsets and beings.
Family members. Just, yeah, man.
Yeah, it feels very good. Very grateful.
Yeah.
Thank God we're here, brother.
And it's time to come out of the spaceship. It's time